Synopsis. In a world where high-stakes card duels determine social status, wealth, and international diplomacy, a young man finds himself mysteriously transported into this reality. Armed with a unique deck and strategic brilliance, he must navigate a society where every conflict is settled on the game mat. As he faces arrogant opponents and dangerous shadow games, he must prove that his tactical wit can overcome any rare card. The journey to the top begins with a single draw, where winning isn't just about the game. It's about survival and finding one's place in a competitive new world. Chapter 1, starting with a dark ghoul deck. Shocking, yesterday, a newcomer to high-interest loans successfully collected 10 million in just one day, instantly getting promoted to senior executive. It said he used a Black Dragon deck. The day before yesterday, at a press conference, our nation's diplomat and the white nation's diplomat engaged in a card duel at the negotiation table, displaying overwhelming presence. Our nation's diplomat ultimately won the duel, and the white nation's diplomat finally reigned in their sharp edge. And now, another piece of news. This year's college entrance examination will be more difficult because our nation has introduced a new mode: synchro summoning. Finally, the grand finale is something everyone dreams of. Do you want to marry a wealthy and beautiful woman and reach the pinnacle of your life? The daughter of the richest man, Jack Ma, has stated that anyone who wins the card duel matchmaking tournament 1 month from now will have a chance to spend time with her. While it's only a chance, not a 100% guarantee, it's still an opportunity, so cherish it, everyone. Yu Feng looked at the world before him, momentarily struggling to process it. Was this a parallel world? He had actually transmigrated. Not only had he transmigrated, but he had also arrived in a world where Yu-Gi-Oh! Determined everything. In this world, rare Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards were truly priceless. There was once news that a single Monster Reborn card was worth a villa. It was that exaggerated. Unless they had some fortuitous encounter, the poor were basically crushed to death. Yu Feng quickly searched and found a 40-card deck. Upon opening it, it was simply unbearable. There were only 3 3-star monsters with over 1,000 attack points. The rest had 500 or 600 attack and no effects. All those spell cards were exclusive and not very useful. What the hell is this? Starting on hell difficulty, Yu Feng frowned. Ding, Yu-Gi-Oh! Sign-in system successfully activated. Yu-Gi-Oh! Sign-in system. Yu Feng immediately felt a surge of hope. He quickly opened the sign-in tab. On the first day of signing in, he immediately received a Masked Hero Anki deck. Yu Feng himself was a loyal fan of Yu-Gi-Oh!, so he naturally knew that among the Masked Hero decks, the Anki deck was the most powerful and flexible. As expected, heaven never blocks all paths. Sign in. Ding, congratulations on obtaining the Masked Hero Anki deck. In Yu Feng's palm, a deck wrapped in a card sleeve appeared out of thin air. On the card sleeve was an image of an Anki mask. Ding, countdown to the arrival of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! World, 3 months remaining. Host, please be aware. You mean the original Yu-Gi-Oh! World will descend upon this world in 3 months? Yu Feng had just received the deck and hadn't even had time to get excited when he was suddenly interrupted by this news. That's right. The host needs to continuously strengthen himself within these 3 months, because even with the same deck, the power used by people in this world is vastly different from that used by characters in the original world. Not to mention the rarity of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards in the original world is much higher than in the host's current world. However, the host doesn't need to worry. The system has a weakened version of the original world's dungeon. The host can enter once per day and gain card rewards upon completion. After the system finished speaking, it disappeared like a newbie guide. No matter how Yu Feng called out, the system did not reappear. Yu Feng didn't feel a trace of fear. Instead, the thought of seeing characters from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! World in 3 months made him even more excited. He refocused his attention on the sign-in tab. Signing in for 10 consecutive days would grant a 10-pull gift pack, which now filled him with motivation. Host Yu Feng. Duel points. 0 duel points can be exchanged for items and cards in the shop. Duel record, 0-0. Duel rank, Bronze Tier Duelist. Deck, Masked Hero Anki. Skills, none. Partners, none. Divine artifacts, none. Card rarity indicators, low to high. NRSR. Yufeng. Just as Yufeng was checking his information, he was interrupted by an urgent voice. Yufeng frowned and stepped back, seeing his best friend, Chen Ming. What's wrong? Yufeng asked with a frown. Chen Ming's voice was loud, clearly attracting the attention of everyone in the classroom. What's wrong? You simp, you're amazing. I thought you were just secretly simping for goddess Zhao Mingmeng, but I didn't expect you to ask Zhao Mingmeng out yesterday. You weren't planning to confess, were you? Chen Ming's comment about Yufeng being a simp wasn't malicious. They often spoke to each other like that. But with such a loud voice, who the hell couldn't hear it? Sure enough, Zhao Mingmeng in the classroom also heard it. Yufeng was stunned for a moment, then checked his memories. It turned out that this body, originally, was not only a loser but also a simp. He often willingly ran errands for Zhao Mingmeng. Yesterday, after drinking, he had gotten a hot head and sent Zhao Mingmeng a message. Meet me on the sports field after class. As soon as these words came out, it immediately attracted many people to discuss, though mostly with suppressed laughter. Chapter 2, Wind Attribute Class Genius. Royal Card Academy is one of Mui City's 3 major academies, known for nurturing many geniuses and being a famous academy for the wealthy. As for how Yufeng's original body got in, it was purely due to his extensive knowledge. Unfortunately, extensive Yu-Gi-Oh! Knowledge was useless here. What was needed was adaptability and practice, and the ability to dominate the overall situation. Simps never come to a good end. After class, Zhao Mingmeng's best friend naturally came looking for her. Mingmeng, do you think that guy Yufeng is going to confess to you in front of so many people? Tusk, as expected of the first-year Earth attribute class Belle, your charm is just too great. It's made that simp dizzy with infatuation. There are countless people pursuing Mingmeng, that Yufeng is just a poor kid, it's not even his turn. But being confessed to publicly can certainly boost Mingmeng's popularity, and the title of top-class Belle will soon be hers. Mingmeng, are you going? Of course, why wouldn't I? Zhao Mingmeng smiled slightly. Are you going to accept that simp? How could I? You're thinking too much. Isn't it nice to enjoy being admired by others? Although I'm a bit tired of him, he's still a good stepping stone. Plus, I heard that young Master Hua from the Wind Attribute class is going to look for him after hearing this news, so there might be a good show to watch. Zhao Mingmeng curved her lips, excitedly applying nail polish. That strongest genius from the first-year Wind Attribute class, young Master Hua? Oh my, I suddenly feel like Yufeng is too pathetic. Who doesn't know young Master Hua likes you? Is this really a good show? There's no suspense, is there? We suddenly feel so mean, he. Yufeng and Chen Ming walked directly towards the main gate, while the sports field was already packed with students who had heard the news, all eager to watch the commotion. Yufeng, weren't you going to the sports field to confess? Chen Ming blinked. Did I say I was going to confess? Yufeng asked back, hands in his pockets. Then what did you mean yesterday? Chen Ming pondered, guessing that the guy was probably getting cold feet again. You mean calling Zhao Mingmeng to the sports field? I just wanted to see if I could boss her around. It seems my words work pretty well. Yufeng said, startling Chen Ming, a slight smirk playing on his lips. Damn it, you only dare to say that in front of me. If you're going to run, hurry up. That young Master Hua is looking for you everywhere. Chen Ming said, looking disdainful. If he finds me, he's the one who should run. Yufeng's eyes were calm. He wouldn't actively seek trouble, but if someone foolishly came looking for a slap, he wouldn't mind delivering a harsh one. As his voice fell, another voice immediately rang out. Yufeng, haha, did you go the wrong way? Shouldn't you be at the sports field? At the school gate, young Master Hua, wearing a white suit and with greasy, shining gelled hair, sneered. 2 lackeys stood beside him. Yufeng, weren't you looking for me? Zhao Mingmeng walked over from the sports field at this moment, followed by a crowd of onlookers. This formation clearly wouldn't let Yufeng leave. Oh, is someone scared and planning to run away? Weren't you going to confess to Zhao Mingmeng? Scared now. With so many people watching, it certainly looks like he chickened out. With so many people talking at once, Yufeng knew that anything he said would just be seen as an excuse. Instead, he calmly watched them, letting them put on their show. Wanting to pursue Zhao Mingmeng is understandable. I, young Master Hua, am also easy to talk to. How about this? Let's have a duel. The winner gets the right to pursue Zhao Mingmeng, and the loser leaves forever. Sound good? Young Master Hua smirked. He had wanted to pursue Zhao Mingmeng for a long time, but never had the chance. Taking advantage of the situation now was perfect. Zhao Mingmeng didn't even refute him. It seemed she had tacitly agreed. Seeing that there was a show, young Master Hua grew even more excited. Oh, this is going to be fun. Young Master Hua is clearly just trying to humiliate him, isn't he? If it were me, I'd just surrender. Yufeng chuckled softly. Why do you want to drag me into being a simp? I don't agree to that bet, so no duel. How hot. At this, everyone burst into laughter. Everyone in Royal Card Academy knew this guy was Zhao Mingmeng's #1 simp, and now he was saying something like this to avoid a duel. It was hilarious. All right, you name a bet, as long as you're willing to duel. Young Master Hua suppressed his laughter, thinking Yufeng was just desperately struggling. Little did he know, Yufeng was waiting for exactly that sentence, digging a pit for him to jump into. I'll bet 3 precious cards. The winner can freely choose 3 cards from the opponent's deck. Yufeng actually knew a bit about young Master Hua's deck. This guy was arrogant and always showing off, so after assessing the situation, his chances of winning were quite high. 3 precious cards, are you trying to scare me? Fine, I don't care. How are your trash cards going to beat me anyway? If you lose, remember to kneel and call me Grandpa. Young Master Hua's eyes narrowed. He pressed a button on the dual disc at his side, which automatically opened, and immediately inserted his deck. Yufeng, are you crazy? Why don't you take my deck? Chen Ming gritted his teeth, naturally unwilling to stand by and do nothing. Yufeng didn't answer, but directly inserted his own deck. Then, both sides automatically shuffled and drew cards. After glancing at the cards he drew, Yufeng said expressionlessly, Chen Ming, you can call a taxi. This should be over in 3 minutes. Chapter 3, Shocking, is this a hero deck? What did you say? Chen Ming was dumbfounded, thinking he had misheard. Was this guy stimulated somehow? End in 3 minutes. Oh, he meant he would be ended, right? HMPH, haha, it seems you know yourself well, realizing you can't last 3 minutes. But unfortunately, you won't even last 1 turn. Young Master Hua glanced at his hand and chuckled. Zhao Mingmeng frowned, watching the two rapidly begin their duel. She always felt that Yufeng had changed. He used to be timid and weak and a simp. How had his demeanor changed now? Both simultaneously pressed their dual discs, which would determine the turn order. The final result, young Master Hua goes first. You should feel honored that I go first, otherwise you'd die too ugly, haha, my turn. Young Master Hua laughed loudly, then glanced at the 5 cards in his hand, and without hesitation, began his chain. I activate a monster card from my hand, Tricky, the clown. I can discard 1 card from my hand to special summon this card. Come forth, Tricky, the clown. Young Master Hua discarded a card to the graveyard, then summoned Tricky, the clown. A clown-like monster appeared on the duel field, its face a question mark. Tricky, the clown. Wind attribute level, 5/spellcaster type. ATK 2000, Def 1200. So strong, he summoned a level 5 monster right away, as expected of young Master Hua. Young Master Hua is being too serious. He's not friendly to this noob at all, haha. Young Master Hua, thrash him hard. Zhao Mingmeng immediately shook her head upon seeing this. Young Master Hua was too strong, Yufeng's win rate was almost 0. Of course, they all thought Yufeng still had that trash deck. It's not over yet, it's too early for you to cheer. Young Master Hua ruffled his hair, striking a cool pose. The card I just discarded to the graveyard was Gusto Griffin. When this card is sent from the hand to the graveyard, I can special summon a Gusto monster from my deck. Gusto Griffin can only be used once per turn, and I'm special summoning Gusto Eagle. Gusto Eagle. Wind attribute level 3 winged beast type. ATK 1000 Def 400. At the same time, I tribute Gusto Eagle to summon my strongest ace, Spiritual Wind Art Airstrike. Come forth! Young Master Hua's face grew even more smug. With a wave of his hand, a birdman with glowing wings descended from the sky. Gusto Eagle shrieked, instantly tributed. Spiritual Wind Art Airstrike. Wind Attribute Level 6 Winged Beast Type. ATK 2400, Def 2000. Furthermore, I equip Axe of Despair. Spiritual Wind Art Airstrike's ATK increases by 1000. Young Master Hua's chain continued, showing no signs of stopping. Spiritual Wind Art Airstrike's ATK immediately rose to 3400. It let out a cry, and the entire Royal Academy seemed to feel a tremor. I set one card and end my turn. Just surrender. My Spiritual Wind Art Airstrike is unaffected by trap cards and has a monstrous 3400 ATK. How can you fight me? Haha! Young Master Hua laughed menacingly, causing a sensation throughout the arena. Awesome! Young Master Hua's strongest chain combo is here. He already has 2 monsters with over 2000 ATK right at the start. He's truly showing no mercy. Too strong. Chen Ming also felt an unparalleled pressure. Even using his own deck, he felt he'd be crushed. Finished laughing, Yu Feng remained unhurried from start to finish, slowly raising his gaze and asking back. Everyone in the audience was stunned. Why did this guy feel so different from before? How could he be so calm in this situation? Keep pretending, keep pretending. When you lose, I'm really looking forward to you calling me Grandpa. Young Master Hua narrowed his eyes. My turn, Yu Feng drew a card with 2 fingers. After a glance, the corner of his mouth curved slightly upwards. Let me see what your trash deck looks like, haha. Young Master Hua pulled out a scornful smile. Then watch closely, don't blink. Yu Feng smiled indifferently. I activate a spell card from my hand, Galaxy Cyclone. Destroy 1 set card on your field. As soon as Yu Feng's words fell, Young Master Hua's set card, Blast Armor, was immediately destroyed. HMPH, Young Master Hua pouted. I then normal summon a monster card from my hand, D-Hero Drill Dark. Yu Feng's calm words immediately caused a huge stir among the audience. Hero, is this a hero deck, renowned just like the third-year presidents? Young Master Hua was instantly stunned, completely dumbfounded, and everyone present was equally bewildered. No, this guy isn't E-Hero, he's D-Hero. There's also a D-Hero in existence. Zhao Mingmeng was quite knowledgeable about decks, yet this was her first time hearing that D-Heroes existed besides E-Heroes. Zhao Mingmeng, who had been indifferent, suddenly became focused. She stared intently at Yu Feng. This guy was strange. Hero decks were incredibly expensive, so was his hero deck even more terrifying or... Chapter 4, Masked Hero Enki. D-Hero Drill Dark. Dark Attribute Level 4 Warrior Type. ATK 1600, Def 1200. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon 1 D-Hero monster from your hand with ATK less than or equal to this card's. Also, when this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Yu Feng finished calmly. And from my hand, I special summon D-Hero Celestial. Yu Feng inserted a card with one hand. A man clad in black armor, carrying a steel ring on his back, descended from the sky. D-Hero Celestial. Dark Attribute Level 4 Warrior Type. ATK 1600, Def 1400. Even if they're not trash cards, what good is 1600 attack damage? Young Master Hua frowned. Shallow, Yu Feng sneered. Next, you'll get to properly enjoy the devouring power of the Enki deck. I activate the field spell card Dark City from my hand. Yu Feng slammed down a field spell card. Then, light and shadow flickered, and the surrounding scenery immediately changed. This was a city with towering skyscrapers under a dark night. Everyone was trapped within it. What? Young Master Hua's expression twisted. He had just heard that his Blast Armor card, which destroys a monster, was sealed by Yu Feng. This Yu Feng's deck, why have I never seen it? It's also a hero deck, but why does it seem more like an evil hero deck compared to the president's? It's fine, Yu Feng's 2 monsters are both 1600 ATK, no threat at all. Of course, it won't be that simple. Zhao Mingmeng's eyes narrowed. Anyone with a discerning eye could see Yu Feng's confidence. How could it be that simple? Indeed. Next, I attack with Celestial. Attack Tricky the Clown. Yu Feng's eyes narrowed, locking onto Tricky the Clown. Are you an idiot? Using 1600 ATK to attack my Tricky the Clown? You don't even have a spell card. What are you thinking? Young Master Hua sneered. It makes one wonder how you earned your title of genius. Did you forget I activated Dark City? While this card is on the field, if my D-Hero monster's ATK is lower than the opponent's, during battle, it gains 1000 ATK. Yu Feng chuckled mockingly. The word genius truly sounded ironic. What? Young Master Hua was completely unfamiliar with Yu Feng's deck. He froze for a moment, and Celestial had already leaped high, drawing the steel ring from its back. Its attack power rose to 2600, and it swung down fiercely. At the same time, I activate Celestial's effect. When Celestial attacks, I can destroy one face-up spell card on the opponent's field and inflict 500 LP damage. Yu Feng waved his hand, and the opponent's Axe of Despair shattered on the spot. Minus 500 LP. After a few beeps, 7500 LP remained. Yue. At the same time, Tricky, the Clown was also shattered on the spot. Minus 600 LP. After a few beeps, 6900 LP remained. Young Master Hua screamed, clutching his chest. This was due to the realistic sensation device, so the pain was real. You're crying so miserably over just 1100 LP. Yu Feng curved a smile at this moment. Damn it, if this continues, my spiritual wind art airstrike won't last until the next turn. Young Master Hua gritted his teeth. No, Yu Feng corrected him. Young Master Hua froze. It's not that your spiritual wind art airstrike won't last until the next turn, it's that you won't have a next turn. Yu Feng slowly raised his gaze, speaking calmly. What a joke, you plan to defeat me with 8000 LP in one turn? Young Master Hua's eyes widened. How is that possible? Zhao Mingmeng had already been impressed by Yu Feng, but who knew he was planning to deplete young Master Hua's 8000 LP in one turn? Young Master Hua had summoned 2 high-level monsters in one turn. How could he be defeated in one turn? Everyone was stunned, unsure if it was true, but they had no time to think. Yu Feng gave them no chance to think. Next, I activate a quick play spell card from my hand. Mask Change. You can target one hero monster you control, send that monster to the graveyard, and special summon one hero monster with the same attribute as that monster from your extra deck. And I will send Celestial to the graveyard to special summon hero Anki. Come forth and meet your master, Anki. Yu Feng slammed down Mask Change. The moment Celestial was sent to the graveyard, a dark light enveloped the entire Imperial Academy. Everyone felt as if they were covered by fear, their hearts trembling. A grim-faced Anki, clad in dark armor, leaped down and roared. Hero Anki. Dark attribute level 8 warrior type. ATK 2800, Def 1200. Game over. Yu Feng seemed to be delivering a verdict, standing with Anki, uttering the final words of judgment. Chapter 5, 3 Rare Cards. Game over. Although you have a monster with 2800 ATK, you still can't defeat me in one turn. Young Master Hua felt humiliated, especially at the main entrance of Imperial Academy, attracting tens of thousands of students. Losing a villa was embarrassing enough, and now he had lost all face. I told you I'd let you enjoy Anki's pleasure. Anki, attack Spiritual Wind Art Airstrike. Yu Feng pointed a finger, and as if guided by a sword, Anki immediately leaped over, soaring high, and directly tore apart Spiritual Wind Art Airstrike with one claw. Minus 400 LP. After a few beeps, 6500 LP remained. Ah, young Master Hua screamed again. The surrounding people couldn't help but shiver. Activate Anki's effect. When it attacks and destroys a monster, I can draw one Mask Change from my deck. Yu Feng said calmly, his fingers poised like a sword, waiting for Mask Change to automatically pop out, then steadily clamping it. Drill Dark, directly attack the opponent. Minus 1600 LP. After a few beeps, 4900 LP remained. Ah, young Master Hua was already on one knee, his forehead covered in cold sweat. Good, that screaming sounds quite moving. Then let's make that screaming even more intense. Activate Quick Play spell card, Mask Change. Yu Feng backhanded another Quick Play spell card, Mask Change, transforming Anki back into Anki. Another tearing attack. Minus 2,800 LP. In just a brief moment, accompanied by screams, his life points dropped to 2,100 LP. It's not over yet. From my hand, I activate the Quick Play spell card. Form Change, you can target one hero fusion monster you control, return that monster to the extra deck, and special summon 1M hero monster with the same attribute and original level as that monster, but with a different card name from your extra deck, treating it as a Mask Change special summon. As Yu Feng said this, everyone in the audience was dumbfounded. Was this a perfect hand? This chain was too strong. Even the president had never shown anything like it. How is this possible? You. Young Master Hua staggered a few steps, almost falling to the ground. I return Anki to the extra deck, and special summon M hero Diane from the extra deck? Yu Feng took a step forward, his school uniform billowing behind him like a cape. His aura enveloped the entire field, and he raised his hand as if surveying all beneath him. A beam of light descended, dispelling the darkness, and a warrior clad in white armor descended from the sky. M hero Diane. Earth attribute level 8 warrior type. ATK 2800, Def 3000. This way, Zhao Mingmeng's small mouth was slightly agape in shock, her hands covering it, her face filled with astonishment. This deck was too terrifying, no less impressive than the president's. This was still Yu Feng. Diane, direct attack? Yu Feng uttered the final words. Diane, wielding a weapon like a spear, directly sealed young Master Hua's fate. Under a heartbreaking scream, he collapsed directly to the ground. Dead silence. The entire Imperial Academy was in its dismissal peak hour. Yet at this moment, it was deathly silent, despite tens of thousands of students being present. Yu Feng retrieved his deck, calmly walked over to young Master Hua, and directly took his deck from the duel disc. After glancing at it a few times, he directly selected 3 cards. The cards of a genius, it seems there's nothing worth regretting. But I've made my choice. The first trap card, Blast Armor. Yu Feng flipped it over. This is my card. Young Master Hua's heart ached unbearably. But in duels, one must always accept the consequences of a wager. Otherwise, they would be even more disgraced by the world. HMPH, if I wasn't after your card, what would I be after? Am I coveting your body? Yu Feng chuckled faintly. The second Quick Play spell card, Concentrated Current, this card isn't suitable for you. As for the third card, the only one worth keeping, Monster Reborn. After Yu Feng flipped the last card, young Master Hua was in excruciating pain. With one Monster Reborn, a villa was gone. Oh my god, he's too ruthless. Is this still that coward Yu Feng? Something's not right. Where did he get this deck? I somehow feel Yu Feng is a bit scary. After Yu Feng finished selecting the cards, young Master Hua raised his hand, intending to take back his deck. He was already so humiliated that he was disoriented. Slap! Yu Feng directly tossed the deck back, scattering it across the sky and onto the ground. Young Master Hua's eyes widened, and his hands trembled. Wait a moment, Yu Feng, you're going too far. You've already won, why are you doing this? Zhao Mingmeng quickly walked up. I won, hee. What if I lost? I'm 100% certain he would have humiliated me even worse. Besides, do I need you to teach me how to do things? Yu Feng casually put one hand in his pocket and gave her a faint look. You just want to go on a date with me, right? Fine, I can give you one chance, but you have to apologize, you're being too much. Zhao Mingmeng said. Ha 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 ha. Yu Feng laughed as if he had heard the greatest joke in the world. Chapter 6, Entering the Dungeon Yuyugi Muto. Sorry, I'm allergic to the word bitch, so could you please stay away from me? Yu Feng's final remark was truly startling, leaving everyone in the audience stunned. Oh my god, what did I just hear? Wasn't Yu Feng always Zhao Mingmeng's #1 simp? How is it that not only has he changed so much today, but he's even calling Zhao Mingmeng a bitch? Awesome, from today onwards, I only respect my brother Feng. Damn it, why didn't I notice how masculine Yu Feng was before? Are you really Yu Feng? Chen Ming was the most familiar with Yu Feng, yet even he felt that Yu Feng had become a stranger. If not for Yu Feng truly being in this body, he would have thought he had mistaken someone else. Yu Feng found it somewhat amusing. It seemed he was still too startling. Did he need to be even more low-key? Suddenly noticing a gaze, Yu Feng turned his head. On the third floor of the teaching building, a well-dressed man was staring at him. Beside him stood a woman as beautiful as a celestial fairy, several times more beautiful than that Zhao Mengmeng, and her aura surpassed Zhao Mengmeng by miles. I've been discovered. The woman smiled enchantingly, like a fleeting epiphyllum, breathtakingly beautiful. I've never seen this guy's hero deck before, but if this deck truly existed, why was he so unknown before? The man's eyes were calm as he spoke indifferently. So there are decks that even the president doesn't know about. This person seems interesting. The woman pursed her lips and smiled, her eyes sparkling. She even deliberately extended her slender hand and waved at Yu Feng. Yu Feng didn't respond. Instead, he turned his head and left. The woman felt a bit awkward. She had expected that, after her gesture of intending to be friends, the other party would at least show some goodwill, as she was quite confident in her own charm. But she had met an awkward reception from Yu Feng. I didn't expect you to have awkward moments too, the man said calmly, then turned and left. Hee, interesting, Yu Feng is it, la la la. The woman smiled faintly, then hummed a song and left. Upon returning home, Yu Feng didn't hesitate for a moment. He quickly opened his panel and indeed checked his duel points. Duel points, 1,000. Details, 1 turn kill victory plus 500. Special summon plus 200. Normal summon plus 100. Using spell trap cards plus 200. Seeing this, Yu Feng immediately realized that the number of duel points gained from each victory varied. He reopened the shop and glanced at it again, finding that there were indeed all kinds of cards. However, taking Monster Reborn as an example, just one card would cost at least 100,000 duel points. Furthermore, only the first 5 victories each day would grant duel points, so mindlessly grinding was not practical at all. Yu Feng temporarily didn't plan to use duel points. Waiting to adjust his deck later when he discovered what it lacked was a wiser choice. Actually, Yu Feng still wanted to know what exactly would happen when the original world's Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters descended in 3 months. Would it be hostile or something else? As Yu Feng thought about this, he found the dungeon screen. The dungeon had a prompt stating, in 3 months, characters from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! World will challenge the entire world in the form of shadow games. At that time, all citizens will enter the true era of shadow games. To become stronger, you need to continuously cultivate yourself in the weakened version of the original world. These words were inscribed on the dungeon screen. Yu Feng finally understood. So, in 3 months, everyone will enter the Great Darkness era. Yu Feng mused, then without much thought, he directly entered the dungeon. Ding, the weakened world rules will assimilate, because the original world's rules were imperfect at the beginning. Thus, for uniformity, the rules will assimilate from the very beginning. This means from the anime's start, summons that don't require tributes will not exist either. Rules will assimilate, dungeon weakened. Blue Eye's White Dragon originally had 4 copies, but here there are only 3. Quest, help Anzumazaki build a deck, and help her defeat Katsuya Janouchi. Yu Feng raised an eyebrow, so he wasn't going to use his own deck personally. But thinking about it, it made sense. With his current deck strength, even Pegasus would be beaten. The first generation's cards weren't strong at all at this time, let alone a weakened version. After a flash of light, Yu Feng arrived in Domino City. In the bustling downtown area, he found himself standing right in front of Yuyugi Mewtwo's card shop. Yuyugi, does your grandpa really have a super rare card? Janouchi somewhat excitedly draped an arm around Yuyugi Mewtwo's shoulder. Cough cough, I heard he does, Yuyugi Mewtwo said a bit awkwardly. I really want to see what a super rare card looks like too. Anzumazaki, wearing a miniskirt, smiled very cutely. Honda followed behind, giving a dry laugh. Suddenly, all 4 of them paused. Yuyugi Mewtwo, my name is Yu Feng, please be kind. Yu Feng extended his hand and smiled faintly. Chapter 7, I also have a blue-eyes white dragon. Hello, Yufeng. How do you know my name? Yugi Muto blinked, finding it a bit strange, as he had no idea who the person in front of him was. Because although I've just arrived in Domino City, I've been looking for rare card shops, and I happened to hear about you, Yufeng said with a smile. Yugi Muto was just a sweetheart in the early stages, so it wasn't hard to get close to them, as long as he didn't display any evil facial expressions. For example, wasn't that how Bakura and Merrick approached Yugi Muto? After Yufeng finished speaking, he quickly shifted his gaze to Yugi Muto's Millennium Puzzle, one of the 7 Millennium items. So you've just arrived in Domino City for the first time. Welcome. Since you want to see rare cards, you can come with me to my grandpa's shop, Yugi Muto said enthusiastically, then walked towards his grandpa's shop. Why does no one recognize me, Joey? No, Yugi, I must defeat you and let everyone know the great name of Joey Wheeler. Joey snorted. It's all just luck, haha. Yugi Muto scratched his head. Grandpa, I'm back. As soon as they entered the shop, the scent of cards wafted through the air. Yufeng's gaze swept over the cards present. These cards seemed to have souls, clearly different from the illusory cards in his parallel world. The unfortunate thing was that even though Grandpa Muto had many rare cards, it was clear that from the first generation, very few were still useful. Perhaps only a few. Haha, everyone, you're here. Come, I'll show you something good, Sugoroku Muto said with a kind smile. Then he took out a box, solemnly preparing to open it. I can't wait, what kind of card is it? Joey said excitedly. You can't afford any card anyway, Tristan retorted. Mind your own business, Joey grimaced. Just then, Kaiba happened to be outside the door. Yufeng had already noticed his presence. Seto Kaiba, known as the Tsundere president, given his status, it was absolutely impossible for him to frequent such a small shop. So, even though he couldn't suppress his curiosity, he didn't want to step inside. He just wanted to secretly peek. Everyone, look closely. Sugoroku Muto saw that it was about time and directly opened the box. A dazzling light shone, and soon everyone saw a high star card. It was Blue Eyes White Dragon. Wow, what a rare card. 3000 ATK, 2500 def. So strong, Joey's eyes glowed with fervor. Compared to his current weak deck, this card undoubtedly left a strong impression on him. Grandpa is amazing. Where did you get this from? It's Blue Eyes White Dragon. Yugi Muto also became excited. Yufeng smiled upon seeing this, as he had thought of a great idea. Impossible. With a loud roar, Seto Kaiba rushed in, his face filled with shock, his eyes fixed on the Blue Eyes White Dragon. The third Blue Eyes White Dragon actually appeared in such a small shop? How is this possible? Kaiba said incredulously. Haha, you don't know who I am, Sugoroku Muto said proudly upon hearing this. Old man, I'll buy this card. Name your price. Kaiba was never short on money, so he naturally wanted to buy it immediately. Sorry, not for sale. Sugoroku Muto snapped the box shut. You run a shop and you don't sell cards. Kaiba gritted his teeth upon hearing this. Not for sale means not for sale. Sugoroku Muto shook his head. Kaiba, why are you here? Yugi blinked, clearly not having fully reacted yet. May I say something? Yufeng saw that the situation was ripe and unhurriedly spoke. As his words fell, everyone around turned their gaze to Yufeng. Actually, it's just Blue Eyes White Dragon. I have one too. Yufeng pulled out a Blue Eyes White Dragon from his hand. This card in his parallel world was treated like a useless card. Not just Blue Eyes White Dragon, but even Dark Magician. Why? Because in his parallel world, there was an extreme lack of support cards for those two archetypes, so they couldn't unleash their full power. Thus, these cards weren't valuable. The Red Eyes deck was slightly better. Although incomplete, it could at least still be played. So, his original deck included Blue Eyes White Dragon. How is that possible? As far as I know, there are only 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. I have 2, and there's 1 here. So where did you get yours? Seto Kaiba was once again so shocked he could barely speak, his eyes wide with astonishment. This, Sugoroku Muto was also dumbfounded. He had thought the one in his hand was the last one. So amazing, how could he also have a Blue Eyes White Dragon? Anzu Mazaki blinked, a hint of curiosity added to her heart. Once a girl develops curiosity towards a boy, as long as that boy is excellent enough, she's not far from falling in love. Since you want Blue Eyes White Dragon, how about we make a deal, Kaiba? Yu Feng curled the corner of his mouth, speaking indifferently, while the card in his fingertips deeply attracted Seto Kaiba. Chapter 8, Anzumazaki's New Deck. A trade? I happen to need this card, name your price? Seto Kaiba never lacked money. He wasn't afraid of Yu Feng naming a high price. What he feared most was Yu Feng being like Yugi Muto's grandpa, unwilling to sell. Yu Feng originally intended to ask for a large sum of money, but then he suddenly felt a soul calling out to him from within Seto Kaiba's case. What's in that case of yours? Yu Feng's gaze shifted to the case. It's full of rare cards. If you want, you can pick from them. Seto Kaiba directly took out the entire case of cards. After opening it, there were many rare cards inside, but also a lot of junk. Once the case was open, Yu Feng felt the call even more intensely. Yu Feng reached in and touched around, quickly finding the source of the call. It turned out to be from a monster card, Giant Germ. This card could continuously replicate itself onto the field, and when sent to the graveyard, it would inflict 500 LP of damage to the opponent. It was very useful for both deck thinning and special summoning. But was this card his partner? Otherwise, why would it be calling him? Thinking of this, Yu Feng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Other people's card partners were either Kuribo, Dark Magician, or Yubel. Why was his a Giant Germ? The next moment, Yu Feng indeed saw a giant germ appear. It didn't look as terrifying as he imagined, and its voice was quite cute, constantly making Lulu sounds. All right then, I'll trade you one Blue Eyes White Dragon for your entire case of cards. Yu Feng finally decided. Regardless of the other cards, he had to get these 3 giant germs. Deal, it's a promise. Seto Kaiba had originally planned to trade cards for cards. Since he couldn't get a Blue Eyes White Dragon from Sugoroku Muto, and now he could get one from Yu Feng, of course, he wouldn't hesitate. After the successful trade, the giant germ was visibly more excited, circling around Yu Feng continuously. Lulu, the giant germ chirped. You're saying, I need you. Yu Feng actually understood what the giant germ was saying. The giant germ nodded. Yu Feng smiled without a word. For now, he wouldn't say anything else, but this giant germ should be useful. Young man, where did you get this Blue Eyes White Dragon? Sugoroku Muto asked, somewhat shocked. Sorry, I can't disclose that. Of course, Yu Feng couldn't tell Sugoroku Muto. Now I have 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons, haha. Seto Kaiba burst into laughter. Yu Feng frowned slightly. According to the plot, Kaiba already had 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons when he arrived here. Why was it that with his addition, he only had 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons? Could it be a weakened version, even missing 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon? After watching Seto Kaiba leave, the shop returned to its peaceful state. Yugi, help me build a deck. I want to beat Katsuya Janouchi, Anzumazaki said, looking troubled as she pulled out her weak fairy-type deck. Grandpa, I want to buy cards to get stronger. Anzu, don't dream of beating me, heh. Janouchi rubbed his nose and chuckled. But I don't really understand it either. Why don't you let Grandpa help you choose? Yugi Muto said, a bit awkwardly. You've come to the right person. Janouchi, I just happen to have a warrior-type deck here. Since you're Yugi's classmate, I'll give this deck to you. Sugoroku Muto pulled out a deck. Thank you, Grandpa. Janouchi danced with joy. What a pity, I don't have a complete fairy-type deck. Sugoroku Muto said to Anzumazaki with some regret. It's okay, Anzumazaki shook her head with a smile. Actually, you don't necessarily have to buy a complete deck. You can use loose cards too, Yu Feng said as he walked over. After their brief interaction, everyone had a good impression of Yu Feng. Loose cards? Anzumazaki was taken aback. As everyone knew, a complete deck put together and sold by an expert would definitely be better. Otherwise, why would anyone buy a complete deck? If Anzu doesn't mind, I can help you pick out loose cards to make a deck, Yu Feng said with a faint smile. This, Anzumazaki hesitated, unable to meet Yu Feng's gaze directly, then nodded. Young man, loose cards almost never win against a complete deck, you know. Sugoroku Muto couldn't help but remind him. It's fine, it's worth a try anyway. Yu Feng didn't seem to care. He scanned the entire shop and quickly picked out 39 cards with swift efficiency. I've chosen 39 cards. I'm just missing one, so I'll give you an elemental hero petite moth to complete the 40-card deck. Yu Feng had assembled a deck for Anzu Mazaki in just 10 minutes, leaving everyone present astonished. Elemental hero petite moth? Why have I never heard of this card? Sugoroku Muto was quite shocked. Yu Feng didn't explain further. This card wasn't of much use to him. Giving it to Anzu Mazaki was merely to win her favor. Any true Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan surely shared the common dream of winning the goddess's heart. Yu Feng was no exception. It was a rare opportunity, and whether it was for a mission or not, he had to win the goddess's heart. Since you're so confident, let's have a match and see. Heh, I won't go easy on you, Janouchi said, full of confidence after just glancing at his new deck. Gladly, Yu Feng replied with a slight smile. Chapter 9, Beginner Fairy Type Deck. Taya, this is a completely new deck, and you might not be very familiar with it yet. So, this time, I'll duel in your place. Pay close attention to this fairy-type deck composed of casual cards. It's not weak at all. Yu Feng's words exuded confidence. Okay, thank you. Taya Gardner blinked her bright eyes, feeling a good impression towards Yu Feng's words and actions. Ding, Taya Gardner's favorability +5, current favorability 35. It has already risen to 35 in such a short time. If I win, it should increase even more, right? Haha, it's rare for you two to have such leisure. Come, let's duel in this open space behind us, so I can also see your dueling skills. Sugoroku Muto was also excited. Go Joey, and Yu Feng, my friend, you two, go for it. Yugi Muto was too short, not even reaching Yu Feng's shoulder. Pharaoh Adam, when he comes out, probably wouldn't be much different in height from Yu Feng either. Upon arriving at the open space, they inserted their decks into their dual discs. I'll flip the coin, heads for Joey to go first, tails for Yu Feng. Sugoroku Muto tossed the coin. Tails, Yu Feng goes first. My turn, Yu Feng drew a card and glanced at it. First, I activate a spell card from my hand. Cards from the sky. I banish one fairy-type monster from my hand. This turn, I can draw 2 cards, but the price for this is that I cannot special summon or conduct a battle phase. I banish Petty Angel from my hand and draw 2 cards, Yu Feng said calmly. HMPH, it's a casual card indeed. You even put a normal monster with 600 ATK in your deck. Joey immediately started to make a smug face. Joey, although normal monsters don't have effects, sometimes you need normal monsters to do things that effect monsters simply can't, Yu Feng said with a smile. This guy has a high level of understanding. Sugoroku Muto nodded upon hearing this. Indeed, there's only the most suitable monster for a deck, and no such thing as a normal monster being inherently inferior to an effect monster. I want to see what a 600 ATK normal monster can do. Joey naturally didn't take the lesson. Now, after Yu Feng drew 2 cards, he had 6 cards in his hand. I summon 1 monster card in face-down defense position, then set 1 card. I end my turn. After Yu Feng finished speaking, he still had 4 cards in his hand. My turn, it's my turn. Joey seemed to have been unable to hold back. I summon a monster card from my hand, Marauding Captain. Joey placed a card down, and a warrior carrying a greatsword appeared on the field. Marauding Captain. Earth Level 3 Warrior Effect. ATK 1200, Def 400. I also activate its effect. If this card is normal summoned, I can special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from my hand. Come forth, Little Wingard, Joey shouted, and another warrior-type monster appeared. Little Wingard. Wind Level 4 Warrior Effect. ATK 1400, Def 1800. How's that, surprised? Haha, it seems Grandpa's cards are still good. Before, most of the cards in my deck had less than 1000 ATK. Joey felt a strong sense of accomplishment. I'll also equip an equip spell card, Legendary Sword. When equipped to a warrior-type monster, its ATK and Def both increase by 300. I'm equipping it to Little Wingard. With a wave of Joey's hand, the sword in Little Wingard's hand immediately grew longer. ATK 1700, Def 2100. Go, Marauding Captain, attack his monster, Joey yelled. It seems you completely disregarded my set card. I activate my set card, Waboku. During the turn this card is activated, my monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. Yufeng responded calmly. Darn it, Joey clenched his fist. At this moment, marauding captain's sword struck the face-down monster, revealing Skelangel. Skelangel. Light level 2 fairy effect. ATK 900, Def 400. When this card is flipped, I can draw one card from my deck. Yufeng then drew another card, now having 5 cards in his hand. According to Little Wingard's effect, it can change its battle position once during the end phase. I'll change Little Wingard to defense position. As Joey finished speaking, Little Wingard crossed its arms and crouched on the ground. I'll let you survive this turn. I end my turn, Joey. My turn, Yufeng drew another card, bringing his hand to 6 cards. Next, don't blink. Watch how a normal monster also has a normal monster's role. Yufeng smiled after seeing his hand. Bring it on, I, Joey, am never afraid of anyone. I want to see if you can break through my Little Wingard, Joey chuckled. As you wish, Yufeng opened his eyes and a brilliant light shone from them. Chapter 10, Joey completely seen through. I activate the normal spell card, Celestial Transformation, from my hand. This card allows me to special summon one fairy-type monster, but its ATK and Def are halved, and it's destroyed at the end phase. From my hand, I'll summon Shining Friendship, Yufeng said calmly. Shining Friendship. Light level 4 fairy-type. ATK 1300, Def 1100. Due to Celestial Transformation, its ATK is halved to 650, and Def to 550. Beep beep. Shining Friendship and Skelangel appeared simultaneously on the field, looking cute and cheerful. A level 4 monster card that you use for a special summon? Haha, it seems you're not quite up to par with your card usage. Joey couldn't help but raise an eyebrow and chuckle. Is that really the case? Yufeng smiled faintly. What a cute angel. Taya couldn't help but feel a little excited in her heart upon seeing this. This isn't good, Joey's in trouble, Yugi frowned. You mean, Yufeng has another motive? Tristan seemed to understand something. Exactly, he's using it to summon a higher-level monster. Yugi nodded gravely. Joey, watch closely. Next, I sacrifice Shining Friendship and Skelangel on my field to summon Wingweaver from my hand. Yufeng waved his hand, placing down a card. A ray of dawn descended from the sky, and then, as light burst forth, the 2 little angels cried out and turned to ash, replaced by Wingweaver. A goddess with 6 wings on her back, appearing incredibly sacred. Wingweaver. Light level 7 fairy type. ATK 2750, Def 2400. It's not over yet. I activate the equip spell card, Elf's Light, from my hand. Light attribute monsters gain 400 ATK and lose 200 Def. Yufeng smirked slightly. Then, Wingweaver's ATK rapidly increased in a flash of light. ATK 3150 Def, 2200. He summoned a monster with 3150 ATK just like that? Joey's jaw dropped, somewhat dumbfounded. Was this still that trash deck? I told you, even the most ordinary cards have their uses. Next, I set one card, and Wingweaver attacks Marauding Captain. Yufeng waved his hand, and Wingweaver instantly flew forward, shooting a ray of light that pierced directly through Marauding Captain, shattering it. Wingweaver's 3150 ATK slammed into Marauding Captain's 1200 ATK, instantly knocking off 1950 of Joey's life points. Ugh, Joey cried out. Beep beep went the device, as his life points dropped to 60-50. End turn, Yufeng said calmly, glancing at the 2 cards remaining in his hand, which were sufficient to cope. Celestial Transformation wasn't a rare card, but sometimes it could produce surprising effects. This guy is very steady. He thought about the second turn from the very beginning. This kind of duelist is truly extraordinary. Sugoro Kumuto seemed to have noticed something, nodding repeatedly. Grandpa, the scariest thing is that these cards don't seem strong, but they function smoothly in his hands, Yugi exclaimed in admiration. Yufeng, Taya had already deeply imprinted this name in her mind. If she had felt unfamiliar with Yufeng before, she now couldn't help but want to understand him. My turn, Joey gritted his teeth and drew a card. Heh, I'm going to get serious now. I sacrifice Little Wingard to summon Cybertech Alligator from my hand. Joey seemed to see half the victory already and directly summoned Cybertech Alligator. Cybertech Alligator. Wind level 5 machine type. ATK 2500, Def 1600. Yufeng remembered this card. It was one of Joey's starting cards. In the early stages, a monster that could be summoned with 1 tribute and had 2500 ATK was already quite powerful. At least before any other support cards, this card was much stronger than his ace monster, Red Eye's Black Dragon. Even though everyone's deck strength wouldn't be very high this time, the more such situations arose, the more they tested patience and skill. Therefore, Yufeng didn't take it lightly just because his deck was supposedly trash. On the contrary, he treated it with even greater importance. Next, I activate the spell card Block Attack. I can select one of your attack position monsters and change it to defense position. I choose Wingweaver, Joey chuckled. Well done, Yugi said excitedly. Wingweaver was forcibly changed to defense position, with 2200 def. Ah, if it gets attacked like this, won't Yufeng's painstakingly summoned monster be? Taya had unconsciously started to root for Yufeng, beginning to worry for him. I activate the trap card, Castle Walls. Yufeng waved his hand, and a city wall appeared. If my defense position monster is attacked, it gains 500 def. You've been seen through, Joey. Yufeng smirked. This card seemed useless, but when Yufeng chose it, he had already thought of this. In the first generation, direct monster destruction was rare, so battles would rely on ATK and def. Therefore, with high ATK, having a card that could change a monster's battle position as a precaution made it foolproof. So, Yufeng was waiting for block attack with this card. Chapter 11, Joey Wheeler's Desperate Gamble. This is Castle Walls. Then Wingweaver's defense increased to 2700, so I can't break through this turn? Tristan blinked. Not only that, Joey's monster won't survive next turn either, Yugi said worriedly. Damn it, I feel like I'm hitting a wall end turn. Joey clenched his fist. Phew, Taya didn't know why, but she secretly breathed a sigh of relief. But Joey was her friend, why was she worried about Yufeng? My turn, Yufeng drew a card, then smiled faintly. I'm going to summon Absorbing Kid from my hand. After Yufeng finished speaking, a chubby figure with wings appeared on the field. Absorbing Kid. Light rank 4 fairy. ATK 1300, def 1000. Then I'll change Wingweaver to attack position. Wingweaver, attack Cybertech Alligator. Yufeng pointed, and Wingweaver let out a delicate cry, moving all 6 wings, then swooped down, a holy light directly destroying Cybertech Alligator. Ah, Joey screamed, his monster turning into fragments before his eyes. Minus 650 LP. After a few beeps, he had 5400 LP remaining. It's not over yet. Absorbing Kid directly attacks Joey. Yufeng's attacks came one after another, without the slightest slack. Absorbing Kid slammed down with a punch. Ah, Joey clutched his chest, his face turning ugly. Minus 1300 LP. After a few beeps, he had 4100 LP remaining. End turn. The clash between 2 card decks that weren't particularly strong should have made it difficult for anyone's emotions to fluctuate, as it was purely a battle of blades. But for some reason, everyone on the field felt pressure, as if the deck in Yufeng's hands was not just a collection of casual cards, but a powerful, unparalleled deck. This illusion was almost in everyone's mind. I won't give up until the very end. It's truly surprising that you can use a deck of casual cards to this extent, Joey said, starting to laugh excitedly. Yufeng smiled without speaking. To make a comeback, it also depended on the strength of the deck. What comeback points did the opponent's deck have? My turn, Joey drew a card, his eyes filled with emotion. I believe in my cards. I've gambled everything on this one card. Come forth, Time Wizard. Joey slammed down a card, and a small alarm clock popped out. It's Time Wizard, Yugi exclaimed, seeing this card. This was the only god card that could turn the tide so far. It seems Joey's luck is always good. He even drew Time Wizard. Tristan immediately raised his fist, cheering for Joey. Next, I activate Time Wizard's effect. I'll toss a coin. If it's heads, all monsters on the opponent's field are destroyed. If it's tails, all monsters on my field are destroyed, and I take half of their combined ATK as damage, Joey finished, his expression becoming incredibly serious. Time Wizard, I believe in you. Please grant me strength, activate effect. Joey raised his hand. Time Wizard leaped up and tossed a coin. Then, everyone's gaze slowly followed the coin as it fell to the ground. Clink. Heads. The moment they saw the coin, everyone couldn't help but cheer. Joey, with his hands on his hips, burst into laughter. Haha, I finally cleared the field. Now you know how strong I am, right? I, Joey, am no pushover. Time Wizard distorted space, and all the monsters on the field aged rapidly, then instantly perished. Yufeng watched the monsters turn into fragments before his eyes, unfazed, remaining calm. Even at this point, this guy is still so composed. His mentality is truly extraordinary. Solomon Muto couldn't help but exclaim. I also think he's a very strong opponent, Yugi nodded. What a shame, both monsters were cleared from the field. Taya clasped her hands, once again worried for Yufeng. It's not over yet. I activate the polymerization card from my hand, fusing Time Wizard on the field with Baby Dragon from my hand to special summon Thousand Dragon. Come forth, Thousand Dragon. Joey waved his hand, and as space distorted, an ugly old dragon flew out from within. Thousand Dragon. Wind Rank 7 Dragon. ATK 2400, Def 2000. My turn, Thousand Dragon directly attack Yufeng. Joey laughed loudly. Yufeng's expression remained calm and collected, as if a mountain collapsing before him wouldn't change his demeanor. Chapter 12, Abundant Rewards. Thousand Dragon attacked Yufeng with a flame breath, instantly reducing his HP by 2400 LP. However, Yufeng didn't even flinch, as if the attack didn't cause him any pain at all. This kind of willpower made Taya Gardner's eyes light up again. In a flash, Yufeng also had 5600 LP remaining. End turn. Joey Wheeler touched his nose and said proudly. This guy's willpower is truly extraordinary. He took 2400 LP of damage and didn't even make a sound. Solomon Muto praised Yufeng greatly. On the contrary, Joey was screaming like a pig when he took 600 LP just now. Tristan Taylor immediately laughed. None of your business, Tristan. Joey gritted his teeth, truly living up to his reputation as the king of funny faces. My turn. Yufeng drew his next card with 2 fingers pressed together. Seeing the card he drew, Yufeng smiled slightly. You look like you drew a good card, but you don't have any monsters on your field, so you can't summon anything, right? Joey seemed to sense something and then said. It doesn't matter, because this game is already over. Yufeng's eyes burst with light, and his cape fluttered even without wind. This kind of inherent domineering aura instantly captivated everyone present. What? Joey's mouth twitched. Did this guy intend to finish him this turn? How is that possible? Joey still has Thousand Dragon on his field. Yugi Muto was also startled by Yufeng's words. In my dictionary, there is no impossible. Yufeng held up a card and declared loudly. First, I'll summon a monster card from my hand, the Agent of Creation Venus. Yufeng slammed it onto the duel disc. Amidst flashing light, a goddess with a pair of wings flew up. The Agent of Creation Venus. Light/level 3/fairy/effect. ATK 1600/def 0. This card allows me to pay 500 LP during my standby phase to special summon 1 Mystic Shine Ball from my deck. I'll pay 1000 LP to special summon 2 Mystic Shine Balls from my deck to the field. Yufeng waved his hand, and his LP sharply decreased, leaving him with 4600 LP. Suddenly, 2 more Mystic Shine Balls appeared. But even with more monsters, you can't defeat my Thousand Dragon, Joey frowned. Don't worry, next I activate the Quick Play spell card I just drew. Enemy Controller. This card allows me to either target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls and change its battle position, or by tributing 1 monster I control, I can take control of 1 face-up monster your opponent controls until the end phase. And I'll send 1 Mystic Shine Ball to the graveyard to gain control of Thousand Dragon, Yufeng shouted. A controller suddenly appeared on the field, and then a line pierced through Thousand Dragon, forcibly taking control of it onto Yu Feng's field. What? Joey's eyes widened. Game over, Yu Feng said calmly. Damn it, I still lost. Joey directly surrendered, not even waiting for Yu Feng to make a move, his face full of unwillingness. Amazing, you didn't summon the agent of creation Venus first. If you had, you would have lost. Yugi Muto seemed to understand. From the beginning, this guy had calculated the benefit of every monster. Anzu, for you, Yu Feng handed the deck to Taya Gardner. With that, the task was complete. He wondered what the reward would be. Thank you, Yu Feng. Taya Gardner reached out her slender hand to take the deck, but whether by accident or not, Yu Feng accidentally touched her hand, making her blush. However, she secretly glanced at him and found that Yu Feng hadn't changed at all, guessing it was an accident. Yu Feng was testing the waters, and it seemed the effect was quite good. Anzu had a good impression of him. It's time for me to leave. Farewell for now. Yu Feng waved goodbye to everyone. You're leaving? Taya Gardner felt a touch of reluctance. She had just looked at the card Yu Feng gave her, Rosebud. It was very cute, and her favorability towards him increased dramatically. Ding, Taya Gardner's favorability plus 20, current favorability 55. Young man, make sure to visit often. Few people can build a powerful deck with casual cards. You are the first I've seen. Solomon Muto exclaimed. Definitely, goodbye. Yu Feng waved his hand after turning around and left with a flourish. Ding, instance cleared successfully. Mission completed, calculating rewards. Mission achieved, reward basic card pack X10. Taya Gardner's favorability reached 55, reward charisma plus 10. Duel points obtained 1100, reward double duel points card X1, effective for the first 5 uses. Host, Yu Feng. Duel points, 2100 points. Duels won lost, 2-0. Duel rank, bronze 2-star player. Deck, Masked Hero Anki. Skills, none. Partner, Giant Germ. Artifacts, none. Items, basic card pack X10, double duel points card X1. Chapter 13, The Entrance Exam Battle. Ring ring. As soon as Yu Feng returned to the real world, his phone rang. 1 hour in the instance was only 1 minute in reality, so Yu Feng didn't spend much time. Yu Feng picked up his phone and glanced at the number. It was his mother's call. Although she wasn't his biological mother, but this body's, he couldn't ignore it, so he answered the phone. Hello, Yu Feng still found it difficult to say the word, Mom, like he was talking to a stranger. Yu Feng, it's the start of the new semester. Do you have enough money? Liang Zume asked kindly. Don't worry, I have enough money. Do you two elders have enough? Yu Feng thought for a moment. Since he occupied this body, he naturally had to take responsibility for the elders' living expenses. Eating some porridge is enough for us, as long as you're doing well at school. Study hard. We're not seeking for you to be a king-level player, we just hope you can strive to reach gold level. Your future prospects will then be limitless. Oh, by the way, your eldest cousin is also transferring to Emperor Academy. When he was in our countryside, he was the top person, and was also appraised as the most promising player to reach platinum level. Although your eldest cousin's personality isn't that great, he said he's still willing to help you. You two should get in touch then. Liang Zume said with earnest persistence. Eldest cousin, he. Yu Feng searched his mind for that caustic and mean-spirited guy. Help, he was probably just serious about showing off. No need, I'll be fine on my own, Yu Feng said. You child, never mind. Your uncle and I will come down tomorrow. We know you have an entrance exam battle. We'll come to watch your match. Don't be unwilling to lose. Watch carefully how your eldest cousin uses his deck. Learn well, understand me? Liang Zume said quickly. Oh, Yu Feng didn't explain much. After all, in Liang Zume's mind, her eldest cousin was invincible and awesome. All right, that's it then. Bye-bye. Liang Zume cheerfully hung up the phone after Yu Feng responded. What a hassle, Yu Feng muttered. The next day, Emperor Duel Academy was bustling. Many balloons floated around, adorned with various welcoming messages, and firecrackers went off, instantly creating a lively atmosphere. People passing by couldn't help but stop and watch. Emperor Academy has officially started its new semester. I'm so envious of those who can study there. Among the 3 major academies, Emperor Academy might not be the strongest, but it's definitely the most prestigious. Look, all the students' parents have come over. Today is the entrance exam battle, and everyone is here to watch their children's duels. Duels aren't scary, whoever is weak is awkward. Just at this moment, Zhao Mingmeng drove into Emperor Academy with her family. She got angry just thinking about what happened yesterday. This Yu Feng, who was like a licking dog before, why did he call her a bitch yesterday? Was he ignored too much? Just as they passed by, she saw Yu Feng and Chen Ming. Yu Feng, Zhao Mingmeng called out to him at this moment. Yu Feng paused, then turned his head to look. What did you call me yesterday? Zhao Mingmeng gritted her teeth and said. Boring, Yu Feng glanced at her. To be honest, her looks were only moderately good. He didn't even have the desire to say another word to her. Awesome, Yu Feng, I feel like you've changed. Chen Ming, seeing this, finally completely believed that Yu Feng wasn't pretending and was truly ignoring Zhao Mingmeng. You called me boring, how dare you? Zhao Mingmeng clenched her fists, annoyed. Yu Feng, do you have a new sweetheart? Otherwise, why are you suddenly not interested in Zhao Mingmeng at all? I can understand if you don't tell me the source of your deck, but you can't keep this from your brother, right? Chen Ming asked. Such trash, even if they're naked, I feel nothing. Do I need a new sweetheart? Yu Feng glanced at him faintly. Damn it, if you feel nothing when they're naked, you need to see a doctor, Chen Ming exclaimed. Yu Feng no longer paid attention to Chen Ming. The two entered the Duel Academy's special competition venue. In the center of the venue was a large arena surrounded by seats for tens of thousands of people, like a circular coliseum. After sitting down, Yu Feng began today's sign-in. Ding, second day of sign-in achieved. Reward, money x 1,000. Today's reward was certainly not as generous as the first day's, but 10,000 yuan was already quite a lot for Yu Feng. Just as Yu Feng was processing the sign-in, a voice, incredibly pleasant, like a heavenly melody, fell beside him. Excuse me, is the seat taken? Chapter 14, The Challenger is Actually. Yu Feng hadn't had time to speak when he already smelled a refreshing fragrance, invigorating his senses. Beside him, Chen Ming excitedly grabbed Yu Feng's shoulder. What are you doing? Yu Feng frowned. This is Emperor Academy's acknowledged goddess Mu Yuxi. Oh my god, I can actually be this close to the goddess for the first time. Chen Ming felt so happy he almost fainted. This was no exaggeration. Mu Yuxi was the dream girl of all the male students in the school. Yu Feng blinked, then turned his head to see that it was indeed the girl who had waved at him that day. Mu Yuxi smiled faintly. No one is sitting here. Yu Feng actually felt fine. The main reason was that he was always thinking about the original goddesses from the various Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. Mu Yuxi reached out and smoothed her skirt, then sat down, exuding a tempting fragrance. Yu Feng, are we brothers? How about we switch seats? Chen Ming said with a smile. No, too much trouble. Yu Feng genuinely found it troublesome. Troublesome your sister, you clearly want to keep her to yourself, Chen Ming pouted. Sitting next to Mu Yuxi was naturally the poker-faced student council president. However, he didn't come forward to greet Yu Feng. Yo-ho, Yu Feng. Another voice sounded. Yu Feng frowned. This annoying voice, wasn't it his eldest cousin, Yuki? Sure enough, a well-dressed, well-behaved-looking young man walked over. Yu Feng, who's this? Chen Ming blinked. He had never seen this person before, so he naturally didn't know who it was. Don't know him, Yu Feng said, ignoring him. Don't know me? Heh heh, cousin Yu Feng, even if your skills are lacking, you don't need to be so insecure. Your cousin here has heard that you're last in the class, tusk. But don't worry, since I'm your cousin, I'll give you some cards I don't use in the future, so you can at least accumulate a good deck over time. Yuki was purely showing off, confirming Yu Feng's thoughts. Yu Feng, however, continued to act as if he wasn't there, which annoyed Yuki greatly. Suddenly, he noticed a girl sitting next to Yu Feng. She was wearing a tight-fitting small dress, her figure was curvaceous, and her beauty was breathtaking. He instantly forgot to breathe as he looked at her. Could there actually be such a beautiful woman in this world? Thinking of this, he wanted to show off even more. Fine, I originally came with good intentions to help you. Since you're like this, we'll see. Yuki snorted coldly and left with a flick of his sleeve. Liang Zume and Yu Guoju in the parents section had been observing the situation. When they saw what happened, they exchanged bewildered glances. What did those two say? Why are they so unhappy? Liang Zume's face filled with worry. At this moment, the uncle spoke. I told you, your Yu Feng is truly an unsupportable piece of mud. My Yuki kindly wanted to help him, but he actually ignored him. No more help, let your Yu Feng fend for himself, the uncle said angrily, apparently having received a phone complaint from Yuki. Uncle, don't be like that. Yu Guoju was about to say something else, but the uncle already snorted coldly and fell silent. This child, how can he be so disobedient? After the exam, I'll make him apologize, Liang Zume said quickly. HMPH, what exam are you waiting for? Yu Feng still wants to pass the exam? Yuki is already angry and said he wants to challenge Yu Feng later. Yu Feng shouldn't even think about passing the exam. He only has himself to blame, the uncle said coldly. What? Liang Zume and Yu Guoju were instantly shocked. If Yuki challenged Yu Feng would truly be finished. Uncle. It's too late, he has already registered his challenger. Everything is too late. Yu Feng will still be assigned to the remedial class this year. He is destined to miss out on the advanced class. The uncle was secretly overjoyed. Liang Zume and Yu Guoju were filled with sorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Emperor Duel Academy entrance exam battle. Today, we will showcase your children's academic performance from last semester. First, I will explain the rules. The person speaking was Dean Yun of Emperor Academy. Dean Yun was highly respected and knowledgeable, thus considered a walking encyclopedia of the card world. All those who need to be assessed can choose one challenge target, meaning everyone will battle twice, once against their chosen target and once against a target chosen by someone else. A person who is challenged by someone else will not be challenged by anyone else. This assessment has a grand MVP prize. I will identify this grand prize winner based on a comprehensive evaluation and award it to that person. The assessment will begin in half an hour. Everyone, please prepare. Dean Yun's voice was powerful and booming. Yu Feng, who is your challenger? Chen Ming asked curiously. Zhao Mingmeng, Yu Feng said lightly. Hiss. Chapter 15, I have only one request, raise the stakes. Zhao Mingmeng isn't someone to mess with. Even though I know you don't like her anymore, her strength is still unquestionable. People have said before that young master Hua from the Wind class and Zhao Mingmeng from the Earth class are both formidable. Chen Ming blinked. He had thought Yu Feng would pick a weak opponent, but who knew he'd choose Zhao Mingmeng? If I'm not afraid of young master Hua, why should I be afraid of Zhao Mingmeng? Yu Feng shrugged. That's true, but Zhao Mingmeng's older brother is a bit troublesome. If he knew you were challenging his sister, he might step in. This was Chen Ming's real concern. Who is her brother? Yu Feng frowned. Her brother is Zhao Nanfeng, one of the top 10 strongest contestants in 3rd grade. He's a master-level player, far above platinum. Before Chen Ming could explain, Mu Yuxi had already parted her cherry lips and said, Yes, senior sister Mu is right. Chen Ming rarely found an opportunity to fawn so desperately. Yu Feng's mouth twitched. Chen Ming finally demonstrated how terrifying a lick dog could be. Aren't there no 3rd grade academy matters today? Why are you two here? Yu Feng suddenly asked. Because we specifically came to watch your assessment today, Mu Yuxi said with a faint smile, propping her chin. Holy crap, when did you two get together? Chen Ming's heart shattered upon hearing this. Yu Feng blinked, not caring much. He never thought he could be liked by a girl at first glance, unless that girl was a mindless fangirl, which Mu Yuxi clearly wasn't. This woman simply wanted to learn more about his deck. After all, his deck had been truly astonishing at first. Time's up, duel start. Next up is the first match. The first match features a transfer student's first challenge, and this transfer student is Yuki. The duel was announced by a young host. As for Dean Yun, after stating the rules, he had already returned to HIS Chinese letter review panel. This review panel also had many VIPs present. The CEO of Beidou, the CEO of NetEase Cloud, the CEO of Alibaba, and so on. They were all business giants and also powerful duelists. Every year, they were eager to attend school assessments and competitions because they needed to compete for more talent. Because of this, Duel Academy had also become a place where many people could fly up the branches and become phoenixes. That was why people would even sell everything they owned to get into Duel Academy. First, let's introduce this young man named Yuki. He won the youth duel tournament held in Yu Family Village. He participated in the city youth duel tournament and achieved his best ranking, 5th place. His overall score in all subjects was as high as 540 points out of a total of 600. It's clear that this transfer student is not to be underestimated, coming in strong. So, who will be unlucky enough to be chosen by him? The host held a suspenseful pause. Oh my, this transfer student is a bit fierce. Not many first-year students are that strong, are they? That's awesome. It feels like whoever gets picked is screwed. I hope I'm not chosen. A series of exclamations clearly satisfied Yuki's vanity. The person Yuki has chosen also has the surname Yu. His name is Yu Feng. The host's final announcement caused the entire venue to erupt. It's Yu Feng, oh my god. Do they have a deep grudge? Compatriots meet compatriots, then shoot each other in the back. Yu Feng isn't what he used to be, it's hard to say. Last time I watched Yu Feng duel young Master Hua, although it was brief, the combos were terrifying. I think he just got lucky. Zhao Mingmeng's lips curved into a smile upon hearing this. Yu Feng, you ignored me, but now, without me even lifting a finger, you're going to be disgraced. Damn it, is this really your cousin? To challenge you? Chen Ming was furious when he heard this. Yu Feng didn't seem surprised. He slowly stood up and smiled faintly. I couldn't ask for more. Mu Yuxi kept staring at Yu Feng, seemingly observing his expression, but he didn't show any change. Yu Feng slowly walked onto the dueling field under everyone's gaze. Anyone with poor stress resistance would already be panicking standing here, which is why many people get nervous dueling here compared to regular duels. However, Yu Feng remained calm. He opened his duel disc, inserted his deck, and then took the microphone from the host. I have only one thing to say. This duel will have an additional bet. The loser will give up their most precious card. Yu Feng's words were astonishing. Yu Feng's parents, in particular, were stunned. Was their child crazy? They were already worried, and now Yu Feng was adding to the stakes. Ha ha ha, good, very good. I admire your idiotic confidence. It seems you've become courageous these past few years. Yuki laughed instead of getting angry. Duel start. Chapter 16, Synchro Monster appears. Sai, I just hope we don't lose too badly. Liang Zume had almost no hope left, but why did her son have to be so stubborn and make a bet? This kid's personality isn't usually this tough. Yu Guozhu couldn't quite figure out what was going on. As soon as the start was announced, everyone's attention focused on the two people in the arena. A coin was tossed, and it was decided that Yuki would go first. I'll go first. Yuki looked at the 5 cards in his hand, and his eyes suddenly became strange. I activate a continuous spell card from my hand, Fire Formation Tenki. During the turn this card is activated, once per turn, I can add a Beast Warrior-type monster from my deck to my hand. The one I'm adding is Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Spirit. Yuki flipped over a card. Because any card that specifies adding a card must be shown to both parties, he had to reveal it for Yu Feng to see. Yu Feng immediately understood something upon seeing this. Is this a Fire Formation deck? But Synchro summoning hadn't become prevalent yet, and if he didn't have Synchro monsters, he wouldn't be strong at all. Unless he had secretly bought suitable Synchro monsters. Then, I normal summon a monster from my hand, Fire King Avatar Ganesha. Yuki slapped a card onto his duel disc, and immediately, a figure resembling an elephant man appeared on the field. Fire King Avatar Ganesha. Fire/level 4/Beast Warrior. ATK 1800/Def 200. I set 1 card and end my turn. Yuki smirked. My turn, Yu Feng placed his hand on his deck and slowly drew a card. Yu Feng's gaze fell on Ganesha. If he remembered correctly, this card could negate a monster's effect, and discard a fire attribute monster from his hand or field to the graveyard. And Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Spirit could special summon a level 3 fire attribute monster with 200 or less def. Based on this situation, Yuki should have synchro monsters. Yufeng first analyzed Yuki. Yuki, on the other hand, was beaming with pride. Because this deck was super unpopular, not many people knew it, let alone understood the effects of these unpopular monster cards. So, he often had a very high win rate in his first battles against others. Haha, fall into my trap now. Yuki's heart echoed with a near-grotesque glee. I set a monster in face-down defense position, and I set 2 cards. I end my turn. Yufeng did not attack or perform any elaborate maneuvers, leaving 3 cards in his hand. HMPH, just as I expected, you can only defend. Haha, my turn. Yuki burst into laughter, drawing a card. I normal summon Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Spirit from my hand. Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Spirit. Fire/level 3/Beast Warrior. ATK 500/Def 500. Tuner Monster. If you're afraid to activate monster effects, then don't. Haha. Next, I activate the continuous spell card, Fire Formation Tensu. While this card is on the field, once per turn during your main phase, you can normal summon 1 Beast Warrior type monster in addition to your normal summon set. Also, while this card is on the field, all Beast Warrior type monsters on your field gain 100 ATK. Next, I'll summon Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Leopard. Yuki waved his hand, and 3 monster cards appeared on the field, causing murmurs of discussion. Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Leopard. Fire/level 3/Beast Warrior. ATK 0 plus 100/Def 200. It's not over yet, the game has just begun. I will synchro summon Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Horse Prince using Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Leopard and Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Spirit, special summoning it from my extra deck. Yuki cracked a smile, his words filled with confidence. The 2 monsters instantly jumped up, then transformed into 2 streaks of light that connected, and finally, a general riding a blazing horse descended from the sky. Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Horse Prince. Fire/level 6/Beast Warrior. ATK 2200 plus 100/Def 2200. It's a synchro summon. Synchro monsters were only just introduced this year. It hasn't even been a month, and someone is already using them. What does synchro monster even mean? I'm doomed. I'm going to fail the college entrance exam. I can't understand any of this. Hearing the voices around him, Yuki grew even more arrogant. This feeling of having something others didn't was truly satisfying. Then he wanted to show off in front of Yufeng. Since you don't understand, this great master will explain what synchro summoning is all about. Yuki sneered. Save it, you're wasting my time. After excluding all specific conditions, synchro summoning is simply a special summon where the level of a tuner monster and the level S of 1 or more non-tuner monsters add up to exactly the level of the synchro monster. What? Do you need me to explain it in more detail? Yufeng remained unmoved from beginning to end, looking at Yuki as if he were a clown. Yuki gritted his teeth. This good-for-nothing actually understood synchro summoning. Chapter 17. Are you truly a qualified duelist? It's not over yet. When this card is successfully normal summoned, I can special summon a level 3 fire attribute monster from my deck. Now, I'll activate a monster effect. Get ready to enjoy my strongest combo. Ha ha ha. Yuki was extremely pleased. The pleasure of trampling someone underfoot was truly intoxicating. I was waiting for you to activate a monster effect. Your ignorant smile also satisfies my mockery. Yufeng calmly raised his eyes, maintaining a faint smile. What did you say? Yuki's heart sank. Activate trap card, Divine Wrath. When an opponent's monster effect is activated on the field, I can activate this card. Discard 1 card from my hand, negate the opponent's monster's effect, and destroy it. Yufeng threw a card into the graveyard, leaving 2 cards in his hand. Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Horse Prince felt a jolt of electricity run through its body, then exploded with a scream. Damn it, Yuki was furious. A synchro monster he had painstakingly summoned was destroyed. I attack your face-down monster with Fire King Avatar Ganesha. Yuki wasn't afraid of Yufeng's trap cards. More accurately, he was testing the waters. Activate trap card, Paleozoic Canadia. When this card is activated, I can change one of your opponent's monster cards to face-down defense position. I choose Fire King Avatar Ganesha. Yufeng waved his hand and revealed the trap card. A worm burrowed out of the field and immediately flipped Ganesha face down. HMPH, a death throw. I set one card and end my turn. Although his synchro monster was gone, he wasn't flustered. On the field, he had 3 face-down cards protecting him, 2 continuous spell cards that covered the entire field, and a monster effect controlling his opponent's monster effect. My turn, Yufeng said with a faint smile. That smile sent shivers down one's spine. Whether it's a death throw or not, it's about to be revealed. I tributed my monster card and trap card on the field. I will tribute summon a monster. Yufeng curled the corner of his lips. What? As these words fell, tens of thousands of people in the audience were shocked, all dumbfounded. Because they clearly heard him say he would use a trap card as a tribute. What kind of move was this? Was there a card that could be tributed using a trap card? Everyone present was wide-eyed with disbelief. What on earth are you talking nonsense about? Yuki frowned. Ignorance, I'm summoning Vision Hero Witch Raider from my hand. Yufeng's eyes flashed with a commanding aura, then he slammed down a card. The monster card and trap card were tributed on the spot. A witch holding a broom descended from the sky. Vision Hero Witch Raider. Dark attribute /level 8 warrior type. ATK 2700, Def 1900. How is this possible? There really exists a tribute monster that can be summoned using a trap card? Yuki was dumbfounded, because he had always thought Yufeng's deck was just a bunch of junk cards, but from the current situation, it seemed not. Not only was it not junk, but it was also a rare card he had never seen before. Is this his hero deck? The student council president's eyes sparkled, a feeling of mutual admiration between hero users. You truly amaze me. I've never seen a card that can be tribute summoned using a trap card. This is my first time. Mu Yuxi's curiosity about Yufeng grew even stronger. Good heavens, he's been hiding it too well. Chen Ming couldn't help but click his tongue. It's too early to be amazed. The game has just begun. Yufeng returned Yuki's words to him verbatim. When Vision Hero Witch Raider is successfully summoned, destroy all spell and trap cards on your opponent's field. Yufeng waved his hand, and Yuki's field exploded as if landmines had detonated. Bang, 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 bang. All 5 cards were instantly blown to ashes, astonishing tens of thousands of people and satisfying those with OCD. How is this possible? It destroyed all my spell and trap cards? Yuki stumbled back 2 steps in disbelief. What kind of terrifying card was this? It was too insane. Even before the outcome was decided, his mental state had already lost half the battle. Hold steady, eldest cousin. Today I'm learning a lot from you. Yufeng chuckled, his words clearly sarcastic, extremely sarcastic. Uttering them was like brutally slapping Yuki's face. Next, I will banish one Destiny hero, Malicious, from my graveyard to special summon another Destiny hero, Malicious, from my deck. As Yufeng's words fell, a muscular monster with demonic wings appeared. Destiny hero, Malicious. Dark attribute /level 6 warrior type. ATK 800, Def 800. Wait a minute, why is this level 6 monster in the graveyard? The face-down monster you had earlier couldn't have been this card. Yuki froze at this. Are you really a qualified duelist? Did you forget when I sent a card to the graveyard for Divine Wrath? Yufeng chuckled softly, his words once again tearing Yuki apart. Chapter 18, Masked Hero Enki's Powerful Dominance Combo. Divine Wrath. It was only then that Yuki remembered Divine Wrath. Yufeng had indeed thrown a card, so it turned out the destruction effect wasn't the most crucial part, but rather the discard effect. This only gives you one more monster with 800 ATK. Yuki gritted his teeth. Is that really so? Yufeng smirked enigmatically. Seeing Yufeng smile, Yuki's heart sank again. I'll attack Fire King Avatar Ganesha in face-down defense position with Destiny hero Malicious. Yufeng calmly stated, and Malicious flew forward, smashing a heavy punch into it. Fire King Avatar Ganesha shattered on the spot. Vision Hero Witch Raider Direct Attack. Yu Feng thoroughly enjoyed the thrill of this attack, and Yu Qi's screams were simply the most beautiful music to him. Witch Raider flew over and backhanded Yu Qi with her broom, causing him to convulse and wail at the sky. Yuwa, Yu Qi. Minus 2,700 LP, remaining 5,300 LP. It's not over yet. I'm activating the quick play spell card, Mask Change, from my hand. I'll send Destiny Hero Malicious to the graveyard to special summon Masked Hero Enki from my extra deck. Masked Hero Enki, come forth and meet your master. Yu Feng's aura burst forth, and as he raised his hand, it was as if he had his own background music. Everyone involuntarily shivered, deeply awed by his presence. A dark light descended, and the moment Malicious was sent to the graveyard, an ugly, clawed monster descended from the sky. It's out, Yu Feng's Enki. Chen Ming couldn't help but exclaim excitedly. Especially young Master Hua, he seemed to recall the moment he was dominated by Enki that day, and his eyes lost focus. Even now, when I see that card, I get cold shivers. Yu Feng has really gotten stronger, and not just by a little bit. When did Yu Feng's duels ever have such a powerful aura before? Zhao Mengmeng gritted her teeth. Yu Feng had indeed become much more charismatic. She had seen Yu Feng use other decks before. In the past, during fair duels where both sides used the Academy's decks, Yu Feng's Academy deck was utterly trash, completely unwatchable, and terribly weak. But now, not only had his deck changed, but he himself had become extremely charming. Every action he made seemed to exude charisma. Guozhu, does something feel a bit off? Liang Zume didn't quite understand. It wasn't how she had imagined it. Shouldn't Yu Qi be crushing their Yu Feng? I don't quite understand either. Why don't we ask first, uncle? Yu Guozhu was actually quite excited, then turned his head to see first uncle looking embarrassed, also unable to comprehend how Yu Feng could be losing. Don't look at me, maybe Yu Qi is losing on purpose, first uncle said, trying to save face. When he said that, no one could stand it. Old man, look at how mad your son is. Losing on purpose, even you don't believe that, do you? Losing isn't scary, not admitting defeat is. HMPH, he might not even lose yet, first uncle gritted his teeth. The entire duel arena was filled with various discussions. Even Dean Yun was no exception. How does this kid have so many cards I've never seen? Hero deck, are there even such hero cards? Dean Yun was filled with surprise. Big cousin, it's a pity. I really wanted to learn more from you, but could you at least last a few more turns? Yu Feng's words were clearly reverse mockery. Tens of thousands of people heard this, and many burst out laughing. Yu Qi felt utterly humiliated and roared, "Don't get cocky, I haven't lost yet." The higher you climb, the harder you fall. The cheers for his synchro summon earlier now returned as pain. You're not actually thinking there'll be a next turn, are you? Yu Feng smiled nonchalantly. What, you mean you're going to finish me off this turn? Yu Qi's eyes widened. How was that possible? Was he planning to deplete all 8,000 of his LP in one turn? Why so surprised? Looks like Big Cousin hasn't experienced society's brutal beatings. Masked Hero Enki, direct attack your opponent. Yu Feng waved his hand, and Enki leaped high into the air, savagely slashing down. Yua! Yu Qi screamed as if his body was being torn apart, his cries echoing throughout the arena. Minus 2,800 LP, remaining 2,500 LP. It's not over yet. I'm activating another quick play spell card from my hand, Form Change. I'll send Enki to the graveyard and choose a hero fusion monster with the same level but a different name from my extra deck. And I choose Masked Hero Diane? Yu Feng slapped down a card, then Enki was sent to the graveyard, and Diane descended from the sky. Here it comes, the familiar feeling. That's the one. That terrifying combo that dominated young Master Hua. Chapter 19, Put Away Your Saintly Heart. Masked Hero Diane directly attacks the opponent. Yu Feng said indifferently, as if the final judgment had arrived. Masked Hero Diane leaped up, piercing down fiercely with a spear. It was the same feeling. The final blow was once again delivered by Masked Hero Diane, taking the last shred of HP. Wua! Yu Qi screamed, then collapsed to his knees, drained of strength. This is truly spectacular. Yufeng actually defeated the transfer student Yuki, who has a good reputation and prestige. And Yufeng was only the last place in Earth class, you know. The host was utterly flabbergasted. My child won. Liang Zume blinked, suddenly feeling overjoyed. Haha, I never expected Fenger to actually win. Yu Guoju danced with excitement. In contrast, First Uncle's face had already turned dark. He had spoken so confidently just now, but now his face felt swollen from the slap. Bastard, First Uncle angrily walked away. Dean Yun, I didn't expect your academy's last-place first-year student to be this strong. CEO of Beidou clearly sensed something and said with a smile. Haha, what last place? This guy was just keeping a low profile. Dean Yun's face was beaming. In truth, he was also puzzled. He had never really heard of Yufeng before, but his performance today was truly astonishing. The deck's combos throughout the duel were a perfect, decisive kill. He instantly killed 8,000 HP in one turn. It was as ruthless as it gets. It completely stunned him, and most importantly, he had never seen these rare cards. This was too amazing. Leaving aside everything else with this aura, he's definitely a rare duelist in the future. How about you let me have this person? Jack Ma, CEO of Alibaba, couldn't help but say. Hee, no way. Who doesn't know you, Jack Ma, also own an academy? If I give away talent to you, how am I supposed to get by in the future? Dean Yun said with a smile. You old geezer, if you can still exchange him for some money now, you'd better do it. Otherwise, you might lose everything later. Do you believe I can still get him into my academy? Jack Ma said with a chuckle. What a joke. Everything your Wind Thunder Academy has, our Emperor Academy also has. I don't believe you can poach him. Dean Yun was still unconvinced. I have a daughter of stunning beauty, with a vast family fortune, and she just happens to lack a husband. Jack Ma said with a faint smile. What the? You even sold your daughter? Dean Yun's eyes widened. Of course not. This kid is a great talent. If my daughter can marry him, it would be a perfect match. How can you call it selling? Jack Ma spread his hands. I've never seen such a shameless person. Dean Yun was furious. He had seen Jack Ma's daughter, and she was indeed exceptionally beautiful, comparable to Mu Yuxi. If this were a man, he would find it hard to resist such a temptation, let alone Jack Ma's card group behind her. No, he had to take some measures. He absolutely could not let Yufeng be poached. Amidst the surrounding shock, Yufeng had already arrived in front of Yuki, picking up his deck and glancing at it. It seems your cards aren't very good. I'll just choose one, the quick play spell card, Cosmic Cyclone. After Yufeng took Cosmic Cyclone, he threw the deck back. It was the same scene again. The deck scattered across the ground, as if it had been discarded, thoroughly humiliating Yuki. Yufeng, student, we are having a friendly duel. What you're doing is going too far, the host couldn't help but say. Yufeng paused, then reached out and took the microphone. Duelists who don't respect others should, after their defeat, expect any possible humiliation. If you don't have the strength, why provoke repeatedly? Does provocation mean you don't pay for morality, and after failure, you can receive everyone's pity? For a duelist to earn respect, they must first know how to respect others. Host, please put away your virgin heart. Otherwise, you are not a qualified duelist either. I, Yufeng, am neither a good person nor a bad person. I only know that whoever makes an enemy of me must bear the consequences. Otherwise, if everyone bothers me, wouldn't I be very busy? Yufeng's voice wasn't loud, but it was enough to shock tens of thousands of people to their cores. That's right, the crowd listened carefully and found it very reasonable. If you don't respect others, then you must bear the consequences of failure. This is inherently a world where the strong prey on the weak. Who are you showing your virgin heart to? Furthermore, many said he went too far, but that's because the situation hadn't happened to them. If everyone put themselves in Yufeng's shoes, they would do the same. When Yuki was provoking earlier, he was incredibly arrogant. Well said. Chapter 20, The Goddess Became a Simp. Jack Ma applauded, his eyes full of admiration. This was the demeanor and pride a true talent should possess. Oh my God, to get Jack Ma's praise, Yufeng must be incredibly pleased. We offended Yufeng before, and now it feels like Yufeng is about to take off. If he retaliates later, won't we be miserable? It's truly a case of absence makes the heart grow fonder. Yufeng glanced at Jack Ma but said nothing, then returned to his seat. Your deck is incredibly impressive. It's hard to imagine another distinct hero deck appearing. I look forward to the day you duel the president. Mu Yuxi blinked her bright eyes and couldn't help but whisper when Yufeng returned. That day shouldn't be far off. Yufeng glanced at the president next to Mu Yuxi. Their eyes met, and both could see the fighting spirit in the other. Evidently, both sides had an urge to compete with their hero decks. That day indeed won't be too far. In a month, there will be an intra-academy battle. 2 months later, there will be a battle between the major academies, followed by urban battles. There will be plenty of opportunities, the president said lightly. Yufeng, you're really good at hiding your strength? Chen Ming couldn't help but exclaim in surprise. This guy was more astonishing each time, and this time was even more incredible, directly using a trap card for a sacrifice summon and destroying all of the opponent's spell trap cards on the field. It was truly impossible to guard against. Yufeng didn't speak. In truth, the more he exposed, the easier it would be to target him later. However, Yufeng wasn't afraid. While constantly acquiring other people's rare cards, he was also continuously changing his strategic approach. Moreover, what he had shown was just the tip of the iceberg for this deck. The subsequent matches seemed much more boring. Many first-year students' duels were just noobs pecking at each other. However, everyone looked at the preview on the big screen, which showed another match for Yufeng in the afternoon. After seeing Yufeng's duel, everything else became dull, so when they saw the preview of Zhao Mingmeng versus Yufeng, everyone became as excited as if they'd been injected with chicken blood. Have you heard? Zhao Mingmeng found her brother Zhao Ninfeng and took his deck. What, really? If she borrows her brother's deck, I feel like Yufeng is in trouble. It seems Zhao Mingmeng is infuriated. It's actually quite funny. When Yufeng was acting like a lapdog, she ignored him, but now that Yufeng seems to have woken up and isn't paying attention to her, she's gotten all excited. Women, they just love to play hard to get. Yufeng's charm is off the charts now. Many girls in our class said they want to confess to Yufeng, but it's clear Yufeng isn't interested at all. The change is too big. Yufeng heard the discussions around him with a calm heart, but Mu Yuxi found it strange. Do you want to know about Zhao Ninfeng's deck? I can give you some information, you know, Mu Yuxi proactively offered. No need, a true duelist never fears the unknown. It's lunchtime, Chen Ming, let's go eat something first. Yufeng stood up. Oh my, is it okay to treat a goddess like that? You'll be single forever. Chen Ming watched from the side, feeling quite stifled, but unfortunately, the goddess wasn't asking him. Why don't you stay? Yufeng blinked. HMPH? I can't stand how you treat the goddess, so I've decided to stay and keep her company. Chen Ming had completely become Mu Yuxi's lapdog. Oh bye, Yufeng turned and left indifferently. I'm also going to eat, let's go together. Mu Yuxi smiled and followed him. Holy crap, I'm going too. Chen Ming had just said he wasn't going, but now that the goddess had also left, he had no choice but to follow. How delightful, these lapdogs nowadays are too scary. Yufeng shook his head. Are you talking about me? Mu Yuxi blinked her lively eyes. Are you my lapdog? Yufeng didn't answer Mu Yuxi directly. If I think about it, it seems so. Mu Yuxi didn't shy away at all. A goddess-level figure in the entire school actually called herself Yufeng's lapdog. Any man hearing that would probably faint from happiness. Yufeng was also stunned for a moment. This answer was truly unexpected. Son, haha, you actually defeated Yuki. Yu Guozhu quickly ran up, excited. Son, your mom underestimated you. Liang Zume also ran up. Hello, uncle and auntie, Mu Yuxi said very politely. Son, this girl is too beautiful. Is she your girlfriend? Liang Zume was dazzled. No, Yufeng frowned. Really? That's great then. Girl, come eat with us and tell us how long you've been together. Liang Zume seemed genuinely deaf, or perhaps feigning it. Yufeng. Mu Yuxi. Chen Ming. Chapter 21, The Taste of Love. Miss, how long have you been with our Yufeng? Your skin is so soft and tender, and you're so beautiful, just like a big star, and your measurements. Liang Zume was looking at her as if she were her own daughter-in-law, growing more satisfied with each glance. Yu Feng's face darkened. Damn it, this bad habit was acting up again. As soon as his mother saw an excellent woman, she'd start considering her as a potential daughter-in-law, completely disregarding other people's feelings. Mu Yuxi let out a dry laugh, unsure how to respond. Yu Feng, what exactly is going on? How did your deck become so powerful? Yu Guoju was still concerned about his son's affairs. After all, it was common knowledge that a single card could be expensive, let alone a deck composed of so many powerful cards. Wasn't that an astronomical price? So, where did his son get the money? It's a secret, don't worry about it. Oh, by the way, here's 9,000. Take it for now. Yu Feng directly handed his parents 9,000 of the 10,000 he received from today's login bonus. Where did you get so much money? His parents were stunned. As long as a duelist is strong, why would they fear lacking money? Yu Feng said with a faint smile. My son has finally made something of himself. Liang Zume couldn't help but tear up with emotion. Mu Yuxi, do you know where I can pawn cards? Yu Feng planned to pawn most of the rare cards from the box he received that were useless to him. After all, no matter how strong one was in real life, one still needed to enjoy it, right? You want to pawn cards? Mu Yuxi was startled. Yu Feng nodded. If you're looking to pawn your deck, I'm willing to buy it. Mu Yuxi's eyes lit up. You're overthinking it, I'm just pawning this box of cards. Yu Feng picked up a box from beside him and placed it on the table. After opening it, a burst of light flashed, momentarily blinding the students eating around them. Holy cow, that light almost blinded me. This light means a big shot. Definitely a big shot, they're all rare mirror-shattered cards. Mirror-shattered cards are much more expensive than regular cards. Yu Feng's actions immediately attracted the attention of all the students, who gasped in surprise. Mu Yuxi also gasped, her cherry lips parting as she gazed at the dense collection of mirror-shattered cards, many of which were rarely seen. She could hardly believe it. There are at least 200 cards here, estimated at a minimum of 10 million. And that's because most of these cards aren't very useful, Mu Yuxi estimated. That's already 10 million? Liang Zume was dumbfounded. They might not earn that much money in a lifetime of work, yet a small box of cards was worth 10 million. The small box wasn't very big. Protective layers occupied most of the space, otherwise, how could it only hold 200 cards? Then please take me to pawn them. I'll pay you for your trouble afterward, Yu Feng said. No need for payment, I'd rather have a favor from you, Mu Yuxi said with a smiling face. Yu Feng smiled casually. To be honest, Mu Yuxi wasn't annoying at all. In fact, Yu Feng felt comfortable associating with her because she didn't have even a hint of self-importance that other women often possessed, making her pleasant to be around. As the saying goes, don't hit a smiling person, let alone a girl. If you don't say anything, I'll take it as agreement, pinky promise. Mu Yuxi extended her pinky finger. Yu Feng was momentarily stunned by this and couldn't help but reach out to link pinkies. You two eat first, I'm full. I'm going to pawn these cards and then I'll buy an apartment in the city. You can live there, Yu Feng said, then glanced at Mu Yuxi. Mu Yuxi immediately understood and nodded. Auntie, we're leaving now, Mu Yuxi stood up. Go on, don't mind us, haha. Liang Zume's eyes crinkled with laughter. Where are you going? Mu Yuxi found it somewhat amusing. Was Yu Feng heading to take the bus? I have a car, get in. Mu Yuxi then drove out a Maserati. I almost forgot, in this world, cards are everything. How could someone with so many rare cards lack a car? Yu Feng was a little speechless. It really was a case of, cars are inferior to cards. I don't know where you got your cards, but judging by your current situation, you must have just acquired them recently. Yet, you use them so skillfully, it's quite unbelievable, Mu Yuxi analyzed as she drove. Being too curious about someone isn't always a good thing, Yu Feng said with a faint smile. Are you trying to say that being curious about someone can lead to falling in love with them? Mu Yuxi spoke without the slightest reservation. You said it, not me, Yu Feng shrugged. Mu Yuxi smiled slightly. If you really have the ability to make me like you, I'd actually like to try and see what love feels like. Mu Yuxi blinked her bright eyes. Both of them were very composed individuals. Their conversation was entirely free of awkwardness. Love, at first it's very painful, but then it slowly becomes very pleasant, Yufeng said. Mu Yuxi. Chapter 22, People from Wind and Thunder Academy. It turned out that the so-called pawn shop was Jack Ma's largest commercial card company, which almost monopolized 30% of Dragon Kingdom's card sources. One can imagine the scale. Therefore, Jack Ma and his daughter's decks were terrifyingly powerful. How many rare cards could they get their hands on first? So, it was rumored that when Jack Ma and his daughter's decks were revealed, they would shock heaven and earth and make ghosts cry. Otherwise, how could they be called master-level figures? Sirs and misses, may I help you with something? A sweet-voiced young lady at the front desk asked. My friend is here to pawn cards. I have a diamond VIP card here, so all pawning fees can be waived, Mu Yuxi said, taking out her diamond VIP card. Oh, a diamond VIP client. I'll arrange it for you right away. The young lady's eyes lit up when she saw Mu Yuxi's card, and she quickly took the VIP card to process the application. How much can the handling fee be waived? Yufeng didn't quite understand this. The handling fee is 1% of a card's value. If a card is worth 10,000, 100 is waived. If it's 1 million, 10,000 is waived. With more cards, the waived amount is significant. For example, if your appraisal is 10 million, at least 100,000 in fees can be waived, Mu Yuxi explained softly. Yufeng was immediately dumbfounded. This handling fee was too easy to earn, wasn't it? Just pawning these cards could make a fortune. Yuxi, why are you here? Just then, a voice like a silver bell rang out, and a slender girl walked over. The girl was a bit younger than Mu Yuxi, but roughly the same age. The most striking thing was her twin pigtails, which made her look younger. She wore a black cocktail dress with a lace miniskirt and black stockings, making her incredibly alluring. If Mu Yuxi was elegant and dignified, this twin-tailed girl was sexy and charming. Kingsu, didn't you go to the academy today? Mu Yuxi smiled slightly when she saw Ma Kingsu approaching. Didn't the academy assessment just end? Ours was held yesterday, not at the same time as yours. Oh, is this your boyfriend? He's a little handsome, isn't he? Ma Kingsu quickly noticed Yufeng, then said with a smile, revealing a small fanged tooth. No, he's my friend. He's here to pawn cards. Mu Yuxi shook her head. Pawning, just leave it to me. I'll try to get you a higher price since it's you, Ma Kingsu said boldly. All right then, Yufeng, take out the box, Mu Yuxi said to Yufeng after they had agreed. Yufeng didn't hesitate and opened the small box directly. Wow, so many mirror-shattered cards. Little brother, where did you get them? Mirror-shattered cards are limited editions, and many places can't sell them anymore, so they're very valuable. Ma Kingsu couldn't help but exclaim. Are mirror-shattered cards already limited editions? Mu Yuxi wasn't too sure after all. How could she compare to Ma Kingsu, who was deeply involved in business? But not many of these cards are useful. Wait a moment, I'll calculate it clearly. Ma Kingsu quickly tapped a series of numbers into a calculator and finally arrived at a price of 21 million. The value had doubled, clearly because of the mirror-shattered cards being out of print. Okay, deal. Yufeng didn't bother to check if the calculation was correct. 20 million was more than enough. Please wait a moment, I'll process the transfer for you and then give you another diamond VIP card. Your sister Yuxi's friend, so this cannot be omitted, Ma Kingsu said with a smile. Thanks, Yufeng breathed a sigh of relief. The financial problem was solved. Kingsu, we're here. Just then, several students from Wind Thunder Academy walked in through the main entrance. They suddenly saw Yufeng and Mu Yuxi, who were wearing Emperor Academy uniforms, and the students stopped. Oh, how rare, someone from Emperor Academy is here too. You guys lost badly last year, the leader, a blonde young man, sneered mockingly. Boss, that's just a first year. What's there to say to someone like him? But Mu Yuxi really is getting prettier and prettier. Her figure, I can't control myself just looking at her. This little slut pretends to be pure. If she didn't have some background, I would have forced myself on her, the blonde young man said with a sinister smile. Hey, first year, have you ever seen a level 10 monster? The blonde young man inserted a card into his duel disc, and an image appeared. It was a display of power. Steel Swarm Hercules. Dark/level 10/fiend/ATK 3200/def0. A huge, golden-spiked fiend appeared, tall and mighty, radiating dominance. Everyone around gasped in surprise. Haha, boss, aren't you going to scare them so badly their legs go soft? Level 10 monsters are beyond their reach. Boss is showing off again. Is this first year stunned? Why no reaction? Yufeng slowly raised his head, smiling faintly. The enormous giant germ beside him directly exerted pressure, causing Steel Swarm Hercules to immediately fall to its knees. Chapter 23. Zhao Nenfeng steps onto the stage for a duel. What the hell? The yellow-haired kid was clearly experiencing this for the first time, somewhat stunned. He quickly drew his cards to avoid embarrassment. If you guys are here to cause trouble, don't blame me for being impolite. Ma Kingsu walked over again, glaring at the group. Haha, how would we dare, Miss Kingsu? We're just pawning cards to earn some pocket money. The yellow-haired kid naturally didn't dare say much after seeing Ma Kingsu. Go over there, someone specialized will receive you. But I advise you, don't always try to snatch duelists' cards. Be careful, karma will catch up to you. Ma Kingsu naturally knew why these people would come to pawn cards every other day. Because Wind Thunder Academy could be said to be the most chaotic academy, its students were like thugs. However, the principal actually agreed, because the idea was that this could promote competition, leading to an amplified version of a dog-eat-dog world. The competition within the academy was terrifying. All right, let's go. First year, I remember you. Hope I don't run into you in the academy competition, hee hee ha ha. The yellow-haired kid sneered, then turned and left with his people. You'd best pray you don't run into me. Yufeng was never afraid of any provocations. Haha, boss, did you hear that? How arrogant is this guy? I'm dying of laughter. A newborn calf doesn't fear the tiger. Whatever, let's give Ma Kingsu some face. After the group left, Ma Kingsu couldn't help but look at Yufeng twice, reminding him, those guys just now are not to be trifled with. Wind Thunder Academy has been at the top of the 3 major academies for years, and there's a reason for it. Their environment has extremely fierce competition, constantly snatching cards to strengthen their decks. So their strong ones are very strong, and their weak ones are very weak. You'd best not run into them again. Today, you were lucky because I was here. Yufeng smiled, not explaining anything. Kingsu, don't underestimate this little brother, Mu Yuxi said with a smile. Could he be a master? Ma Kingsu knew Mu Yuxi's strength, and for her to say that, it was clear Yufeng was not simple. You'll find out then, Mu Yuxi replied. Little brother, here's your 20 million and the diamond VIP card. If you get a chance, we must have a match, Ma Kingsu said with a smile. I can't even beat your deck, stop joking, Mu Yuxi said, a little exasperated. That guy's deck was simply perverse, too difficult. SHH, don't be like that. Leave some suspense for the little brother. Ma Kingsu covered her mouth and chuckled. Do you guys really think I'm not here? Yufeng blinked. Yufeng checked his panel. Host Yufeng. Duel points, 2200 plus 1500, obtained from previous victory. Wins/losses, 3-0. Level, Bronze Tier 4 player, leveled up twice. Partner, Giant Germ. Items, Beginner Card Pack X10, Double Duel Points Card X1. When they walked out of Jack Ma's Tianhai card group, Mu Yuxi was clearly very happy, feeling as if she had earned 20 million herself, which Yufeng couldn't help but notice. She had been humming little songs. Why do I feel like you're happier than me? Yufeng blinked. You owe me a favor, isn't that enough to make me happy? Mu Yuxi reached out and brushed the stray hair from her ear, smiling like a spring breeze. Do you know what it means for a man to brush hair from his ear? Yufeng said with a faint smile. You mean a sign of affection? Mu Yuxi blinked her bright eyes. I didn't even notice until you said it. It seems there really is a hint of affection. Little Junior, you have a chance, you know. Want to try pursuing me? Maybe I'll agree, Mu Yuxi said with a pursed lip smile. If your chest were a little bigger, I might consider it. Yufeng glanced at Mu Yuxi's already ample chest, but he was just teasing her, as if her clothes were about to burst. Mu Yuxi was startled, clearly not expecting Yufeng to say that. By the time she reacted, Yu Feng had already left. Yu Feng, he might really be an interesting person, Mu Yuxi murmured softly. In the afternoon, the moment everyone had been eagerly awaiting arrived. After several rounds of duels, it was soon Yu Feng's turn to duel Zhao Mingmeng. Here it is, here it is. After watching Yu Feng's duel this morning, I couldn't stop thinking about it. The smooth chaining, the one-turn kill style, it was just so satisfying. And he's already had 2 one-turn kills. That's amazing. Look, Zhao Mingmeng's older brother is here too, Zhao Nanfeng. At this moment, Zhao Nanfeng directly stepped onto the stage, stunning everyone. What was going on? My sister is sick, so today I'll be fighting in her place. Of course, if Yu Feng is afraid, we can reschedule the duel for when my sister recovers. Zhao Nanfeng's expression held a touch of arrogance. Although he didn't spout any trash talk, it was clear that few people caught his eye. Oh my god, Zhao Nanfeng is on stage. This is exciting. He's trying to stir up trouble. Chapter 24, Strong Against Strong. Cough cough, isn't this inappropriate? Zhao Nanfeng, you're a 3rd year and still a top 10 student. It's too unfair to a 1st-year student. Dean Yun stepped forward to mediate. It seems Yu Feng has some grudge with his sister, otherwise why would he do this? Saying he's uncomfortable is probably just a facade. Jack Ma saw through it at a glance. A 3rd-year top 10 student, no matter how strong a 1st-year student is, there's a limit. How can he win? CEO of Beidou also felt it was unfair. Doesn't matter. Just as everyone was discussing animatedly, Yu Feng stood up from his seat on the duel field, his voice not loud, but loud enough for everyone else to hear. You can certainly have your sister come and watch. I know she got you to come because she's scared. Even so, I don't care. Yu Feng walked calmly from the duel field step by step. What courage, since that's the case, don't dawdle. Seeing Yu Feng agree, Zhao Nanfeng immediately handed the microphone back to the host, pulled out his deck, and inserted it into his dual disc. Oh my god, is this really the Yu Feng I know? Chen Ming was dumbfounded. All of Emperor Academy's top 10 students were past participants, terrifyingly strong. Chen Ming felt that if he had to face them, he wouldn't even be able to hold his cards steady. The prestige and pressure were simply too immense. Although these students couldn't compare to professional duelists, yet, each of them was already a top-tier existence in the academy. This Yu Feng, I appreciate him more and more. The student council president couldn't help but radiate a glow. Indeed, this person truly possesses great courage and charm, as if nothing can make him fear. Mu Yuxi also nodded slightly. Yu Feng unbuttoned his school jacket, then tossed it directly off the field, revealing his short-sleeved shirt and reasonably well-built arms. He knew this duel would definitely be intense, so he took off his jacket beforehand. Even the way he tossed his jacket drew a crowd of infatuated girls. Yu Feng himself didn't know how many girls were currently charmed by him. Old rules, one rare card. Despite facing a 3rd-year top 10 student, Yu Feng still made this demand. Whatever you like, Zhao Nanfeng said indifferently. This made everyone in the audience gasp. This Yu Feng, I like him more and more. Sisters, don't try to snatch him from me. Impossible, you can let go of anything else, but not Yu Feng. You're just greedy for his body, you're shameless. Is this Yu Feng too unyielding? Awesome, if he wins this, Zhao Nanfeng's reputation will plummet. But I think it'll be difficult. Zhao Nanfeng's strength is too great. We'll just watch. Since that's the case, I will flip the coin to decide. Heads for Yu Feng, tails for Zhao Nanfeng. The host held the coin and tossed it into the air. Cling clatter. Heads, Yu Feng takes the first turn. Duel start, the host announced. My turn. Yu Feng looked at the 5 cards in his hand and pondered. I set one monster in face-down defense position from my hand, then I set 2 cards. I end my turn. Yu Feng didn't dare to act rashly without knowing what cards his opponent had. My turn. Zhao Nanfeng glanced at the cards in his hand. From my hand, I activate the spell card, Foolish Burial. I send 1 Buster Blader from my deck to the graveyard. Zhao Nanfeng said calmly. Yu Feng's eyebrows immediately twitched. A Buster Blader deck. If it was truly this deck, then things would be very troublesome. Because once Buster Blader is summoned in conjunction with DNA surgery, it becomes extremely difficult to deal with. Then, from my hand, I summon one Buster Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman. As Zhao Nanfang's words fell, a small, very cute dragon appeared. Light attribute /level 1/dragon type. ATK 400, Def 300. It really is a Buster Blader deck. Yu Feng's eyes darkened. When this card is successfully summoned, I can add one Destruction Sword card from my deck to my hand, and I choose Destruction Swordsman Fusion. After Zhao Nanfang finished speaking, everyone in the audience couldn't help but shiver, because once the Buster Blader's strongest combo was assembled, it would be almost impossible to turn the tables. It was clear that many people had been dominated by Buster Blader in the past. Although I have to admit you have the qualifications to be my opponent, that's all there is to it. In front of me, you can abandon the thought of winning. Now is the time for you to be dominated by Buster Blader. Zhao Nanfang's eyes were calm, as if everything was a matter of course. Chapter 25, Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. Next, I will activate another effect of Buster Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman. By tributing Buster Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman, I special summon Buster Blader from my graveyard. As Zhao Nanfang's words fell, Buster Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman turned into ashes, and Buster Blader was immediately revived from the graveyard. Buster Blader. Earth Attribute Level 7 Warrior Type. ATK 2600, Def 2300. It's not over yet. I activate a quick play spell card from my hand, Destruction Swordsman Fusion. I fuse a Dragon-type monster from my hand with Buster Blader on my field to fusion summon Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman from my extra deck. With a wave of Zhao Nanfang's hand, space warped, and Buster Blader on the field immediately fused with a Dragon-type monster. Then, a swordsman in white armor, wielding a greatsword, descended from the sky, directly plunging into the field, carving out a small groove. Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. Light Attribute Level 8 Warrior Type. ATK 2800, Def 2500. At the same time, I set 2 cards and end my turn, Zhao Nanfang said calmly. Oh my, why didn't Zhao Nanfang attack? He must be afraid of the opponent's set cards. After all, if Buster Blader were to be destroyed before its chain could be completed, all his efforts would be for naught.